Lost in the Script, episode 70, Eureka, a cry of joy or satisfaction when one finds or discovers something. What have you discovered?
What it is, y'all, what it is. Another week in the books. We keep saying the year going by fast.
It is.
Speeding up.
Now, you know, here in Seattle, the spring didn't want to leave. Now the summer don't want to leave. And the fall, like, my nigga, I only got about 2 months before winter comes.
What's that old saying? The fall say, I'm not here for a long time. I'm going to be here for a good time.
Summer like, hey, man, I got to get mine. When spring stay here too long. It's still supposed to be in the 90s next week here, which is very unusual for the Northwest.
Yeah. How you doing, Regina?
Climate change.
Huh?
That's what they saying. Climate change.
Yeah. What up, Brian?
I'm expecting I'm expecting a cold winter.
Yeah, probably a really, really cold winter, more than likely.
And I don't want no cold winter.
Well, we got snow for the first time in a while.
I hate when it get below. Honestly, I hate when it get below 50, but when they get 30 and below, it's like.
Well, I don't think nobody yeah.
But
Anyway, about to get right into it. We're gonna start with some, how we start with some, more current events types, topics, stuff going on, and we'll go into the at the end. I definitely want y'all to hear about old Trumpster.
It's back connected.
Okay, my fault. Here we go with the bullshit again. All right. So this woman here, if you get accused of something multiple times, either you're a bad judgment of character or somebody after you. Like, it is what it is.
Well, somebody's after him.
A woman is coming forward to claim with claims against a lawyer allegedly working to turn Trey Songz into the next R. Kelly. Transcripts from recent court hearings and Trey Songz sexual assault lawsuit surfaced and seemingly painted the singer as the victim of an alleged conspiracy. A woman named Mariah Thielen testified that she met Ariel Mitchell in April 2021 and was offered a bribe, TMZ reports. Mitchell is the attorney for Johara Jeffries, the woman suing Songz, accusing the singer of sexually assaulting her at a New Year's Eve party in 2017. Thielen claims that he met Mitchell at a bar in Miami in April 2021 and offered between $100 to $200K if she agreed to lie and say she witnessed Songz sexually assault Jeffries. Thielen also says Mitchell wanted to claim that Songz assaulted her too, as the attorney allegedly works to make the bottoms up singer the next R. Kelly. So it's a hustle.
Mm-hmm.
So how we know there's a thing in the industry where women will purposely seek out certain artists, NBA players, actors, and try and have a baby on them. That's kind of obvious. So now there's a market now to falsely or quote unquote falsely accuse men of something and then take them to court, not to actually get justice, but to get a settlement for money.
They've been doing that. And
the more people you can get to accuse him,
corroborate the story,
the bigger their settlement can be.
Yep.
This is crazy.
That's why they got to go get 30 and 40 people to just make it just seem unanimous.
Yeah.
That this person has committed all these crimes.
Yeah. Thielen also claims that Mitchell smelled like weed during a meeting and was carrying a handgun.
I wonder where she carries her weed.
Thielen says Mitchell was trying to take her allegations to Songz's legal team in hopes of coming to a monetary settlement for the client. The transcript states that if Thielen made the false claims, the settlement would be larger. Now, the big part, but I'm going to skip all the rest of this. Now, her partner, Mitchell, the lawyer's partner that works with her, it said withdrew from the case. It says Thielen says she turned down the offer and immediately told Songz's legal team. She says she wouldn't have accepted the bribe even if the offer was $10 million. So they must didn't offer her enough.
But this story is connected to another artist.
Yeah, she denies the claims and said that Thielen is guilty of perjury. While highly confident and certain that the court will find the witness committed perjury, Parties are still waiting for judges' further instruction on how to proceed given the witness' inconsistent testimony during the hearing. Mitchell's partner, George Verbeck, withdrew from the case, citing multiple grounds for withdrawal under the Florida rules of professional conduct. Mitchell claims Barak only withdrew because he will be representing me against the parties involved in a disgraceful motion brought by Trey Songz and his representatives. Mitchell and Verbeck have a history of withdrawing from sexual assault cases.
They don't want you to tell it. They don't want you to tell it.
The two lawyers previously withdrew from a $20 million lawsuit against Chris Brown after the singer produced text messages and voicemails from the alleged victim confirming their friendly relationship.
Wow. Both of those, Chris Brown and Trey Songz are both from Virginia.
Chris Brown, look. Remember when that thing in London happened? When the girl was over in Europe, she accused him of something, and the articles came so fast, and he was accused of this.
I almost bought one of those shirts where he said the bitch is lying.
These bitches lying. And then he came out and showed the text message and stuff, and nobody came out and apologized, and it was nothing.
Recanted.
That's why he released an album recently. He's like, you motherfuckers only care about bad stories about me. You don't care about my music.
That's why I be saying these people we having 20, 30 million followers, and then only 80,000 people go out and buy their albums. But we are in a recession. Like, we're not gonna, Chris Brown, we're not gonna pretend like we're not in a recession right now.
Yeah, it's gonna be rough out here for you, man. What up, George? No notice, but I'm here.
The lies.
Yeah, it went out, man. I don't know what happened.
Where that snitch at? Oh, George said he didn't get no notification. The lies.
All right. We just gotta hang in there, catch these snitch go free.
Snitches.
You can do thumbs up. It's been a market since Bill Cosby. Yeah. Oh, was it Bill first, or was it Charlie Rose?
Charlie Rose. You want to know why they
go down first?
If I tell this, they gonna know where I got it from.
You don't want to know why they call me Charlie Rose?
My flower blues.
Yeah, it was him first.
Yep.
It was a lot of them that didn't really make headlines, but a lot of dudes was getting accused of stuff during the Me Too thing.
Listen, they really just dismantled that CBS Morning News. It was Gail, Nora O'Donnell, and Charlie Rose. First Charlie went, then Nora went. No, and Gail. Hey, Gail said I'm still here.
Y'all thought I was the problem.
Nope.
Oh man.
The viewers like Gail.
Seattle weather is perfect in the 70s, nothing lower or higher, in my humble opinion, experience as a native. Yeah. I wasn't here then, but I mean, I never heard about Seattle. I mean, Seattle is known for the rain, obviously.
Not no more.
Yeah.
They're literally saying how the air conditioner has finally defeated Washington State.
Now it's a normal thing now?
It's a normal thing. When the summer come around,
people
which a lot of places here have already started installing central air units anyway.
Yeah.
Those days are over.
Yeah, maybe that 30 mil is 80,000. Man, most of these celebrities, this is why Elon Musk, we're going to talk about this later, he just got awarded the information from Twitter to see how many bots they got. I believe all of these celebrities, quote unquote, all of them have a bunch of bots following them. There's no way you got 25 million people following you on across social media, and you can't sell 100,000 copies of a product you're putting out.
I mean, if an artist got 3 million followers and they selling the same amount as you selling, then it's like, yeah, those are bots.
I mean, majority maybe bots. Not he has that many fans. Yeah. I know. Let me go ahead and go to this. I'm sure y'all say, what's going on with the church?
The church is the church not even on life support no more. The church is just, but they're being very honest with their congregation,
well, no,
though.
That's not what it is.
Oh, what is it?
Let me read this first. U.S. pastor who called congregation poor, broke, busted, and disgusted for not buying him a luxury watch apologized.
If they would have said poor, broke, busted, and dusty.
Now, you know the pastor out of New York who got robbed for the quote unquote robbed for the million, which most people now believe that was a stage situation.
It was a scam.
You know, he came out and said he want to do a celebrity boxing match with D.L. Hughley. I said, oh, that's what this is about. This is clout.
Why he want to do a celebrity boxing match with D.L. Hughley?
For clout. What you mean? I think D.L. Hughley might have said something about him, I guess.
Oh.
Now listen. This is clearly the new way the church, a lot of these pastors are trying to find a way to get into mainstream.
How would it be a celebrity boxing match? It's only one celebrity.
Well, he's a celebrity now.
He's
He's
a viral.
like, we allowed Big Brody and all them to call themselves celebrities years ago.
Who Big Brody?
I forgot you're not part of the internet culture. It was a dark skinned dude. It was a black bald big black dude who used to go around and say, "You trying to get my girl?" or something like that. He would just prank people and act like he gonna beat them up. It wasn't real.
Oh, he's like that big dude that be on that HBCU campus and just falling on people.
Though, but he was muscular. And then another dude. it was a whole meme thing that was going on. So there's a such thing as internet celebrities. But what I'm trying to say is these pastors now, because they can't get into the fold through the what do they call it, these Christian leadership or pastor leadership, they're trying to go through internet popularity. So
they're trying to be like the TD Jakes and the mega churches.
They just want to go viral to get attention to themselves.
You should be able to go viral off of a good sermon that you delivered. So it sounds like you can't deliver
is that true? Considering majority of the country don't believe in that no more.
Oh, the majority of the country is atheist.
Yeah. So these pastors got to find another way to make their money. The church is not full as they used to be. It is what it is. A video clip of one of the sermons shows him berating his church members for not honoring him with a Movado watch and went viral on TikTok. Let me just show the video if the shit decided to
He a millennium.
See, that's how I know you still poor.
It is crazy.
See, that's how I know you still poor, broke, busted, and disgusted because of how you've been honoring me. I'm not worth your McDonald's money. Come on. I'm not worth your Red Lobster money. I ain't worth your St. John knit.
And the people in the back.
Exactly. The black woman, come on. Yeah. So they agree. They agree that they have been neglecting their pastor. And they have not fulfilled his wish, his Christmas gift yet. So they working on it. Like, Pastor, we gonna do better.
Yeah, okay.
Y'all can't afford it, no how. I ain't worth y'all Louis Vuitton. I ain't worth your Prada. I'm not worth your Gucci. Mother, I'm saying this, and I promise you, Deacon Ian, it's not with respect of want. I'm saying it because I want you to understand just what God is saying. I even found out that Movado, you can buy a Movado watch in Sam's.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
And y'all know I asked for one last year. Here it is the whole way in August. I still ain't got it. Y'all ain't saying nothing. Let me kick down the door and talk to my cheap sons and daughters. Good evening. My name is Carlton Funderburke. I'm the senior pastor of Church of the Well right here in Kansas City, Missouri. I want to take this moment to address the now viral video clip of me from a sermon given August the 7th, 2022. Though there is context behind the content of the clip, no context will suffice to explain the hurt and anguish caused by my words. I've spoken to those I am accountable to and have received their correction and instruction.
All right. So this is the hustle. Go viral.
Then apologize.
And then trying to flip that attention. Because, some people going to just follow him based off, they thought it was funny. They're going to think, do he do this all the time? Is this something he does do?
He does funny little skits in church.
So now he can be an influencer, a pastor influencer. I swear.
You should be able to lead people and get people to come and hear the word, not come and hear the antics.
We got activist influencers. Now we got pastor influencers. What's going on?
You remember that show they tried to come out with, pastors of LA or pastors of Atlanta?
Oh yeah.
That was terrible.
Didn't one of the pastors have a girlfriend?
Yeah, he had a girlfriend for about 20 years. I think he just recently married her, like 2 or 3 years ago. She finally got the ring.
His name is Carlton Funderburke.
I ain't never heard that last name before.
The senior pastor of the Church of Well in Kansas City, Missouri, issued an apology for his inexcusable remarks. The video clip of the sermon, we already know all this. He already said all this.
Oh, he from Missouri. He might be a native black. That's why he have that last name, Funderburke.
Yeah, okay. Okay. We'll buy that too, I guess. Speaking of selling out.
We knew Verzuz had sold.
Hold on, before we get to that, let me He is not a pastor, he is a pretender. Anyone that still follow him chooses to be lost. The Most High don't.
Me to shed. But anyway, yeah, people got bills due and they still expected to pay their tithes.
Well, I know a person who gave money to a church a lot, and when they needed a church, the church was like,
and they stopped going there, and they didn't fuck with the church no more.
Exactly. Pastors don't want new Cadillacs anymore. They want new Bentley. Oh yeah, they don't want pastors don't want to be hood rich no more. Pastors
They don't even
rich.
They don't even want Bentleys. They want private jets.
Oh yeah, good one. Who was that? Was that Creflo?
Creflo Dollars.
And he said this is a real. Anyway, I'm not even getting into that. Creflo Dollar asked for a $60-something million jet, and said, "If you don't do this for me, I can't get around the country and be as useful to God as I'm supposed to be."
Man,
like,
he
nigga,
used that.
You could buy plane tickets and you got a car.
Yeah.
You can go train, bus, anything.
He trying to get to his different women and area codes. That's what he trying to do.
Women?
Whomever.
I mean, we saw how Eddie Long, and then we're going to leave that alone.
Eddie Long, he died of,
All has been revealed, and the church is no exception. They wilding. Exactly. Them not Christians. Those are real slaves that don't have the force of the slave ship. They have been looking for a master, not a savior. As she said that. I need y'all to upgrade the internet package. Hey, bruh. It's real. Hey, we've been complaining about it for how long now? It's been about 3 months, and I know what they're doing. See, they want people to get that 5G.
I'm not getting no 5G.
They want people to get that 5G, and if you don't get it, they effing with the packages that go to your home. The internet package. It's hard to explain, but yeah.
What they're trying to do is get you to make that phone call.
Oh, you can always upgrade though, and it'll be better for you. No, I'm good. I'm gonna stick right here. Is it a coincidence the pastor's last name is Funderburke, same as Creflo Dollars? Exactly. Oh, Funderburke. Funderburke. That's a good one. Yeah. Let's talk about the money though. Let's talk about real money. Let's talk about wealth and generational. Let's talk about ownership. We said this when they sold it. We were like, why? It was probably at the time during the pandemic, one of the most popular platforms in the industry. And they sold it at the height of its popularity, really.
Well, that's when it's the most it's valuable at the height of its.
One of its most highest level value will probably be when they did the Deluxe versus Dipset one. That's when it was at its most popular because that was the one that got the most attention. They sold it. So now Swizz Beatz and Timberland suing Triller for $28 million, pay up for Verzuz. So what happened is they sold it. And they supposedly, everybody who was on Verzuz before they sold it, they made them, they got stock into the country. Let me tell you, to the company.
You know that for a fact?
That's what he said. Okay. He put out a list out, and I'll read the article. It's in the article. And now they're saying they weren't paid all the money they were owed.
Oh,
that
yeah.
Triller made 2 payments and then wouldn't defaulted on the other ones. So then when they came back and tried to get them to start paying again, they paid one more payment and defaulted on the
rest. So
they
went
again.
back to their same tactic.
Exactly. According to the lawsuit, Triller refused to make payments after the viral battle series was sold to the company. Swizz Beatz and Timberland have hauled short-form music video app Triller into court with a pair of artists alleging Triller must pay them $28 million after acquiring Verzuz, the live-streaming rap battle show. The duo founded the popular Verzuz, we know all this. According to the lawsuit, after Triller failed to make the large payment to Swizz, Kadeem Duval Dean, and Timberland, Timothy Mosley, in January 2022, the company agreed onto a settlement requiring Triller to pay them $18 million, $9 million each, by March 20th, with $1 million per month for the following 10 months. Triller has not made any of those promised payments the suit alleges. To date, defendants have failed and refused to make any payment to Swizz Beatz and Timberland. The past sums due and owing. According to the lawsuit filed Tuesday in the Los Angeles County Superior Court, the aforesaid defaults constitute material breaches of the agreement by defendants. Redford Triller did not respond to a request for comment. The lawsuit filed on behalf of Swizz and Timberland seeks $28 million in damages plus applicable interest, as well as legal fees and other enforcement further relief as the court deems just improper.
How are you gonna sell your stuff to a broke company?
No,
sound like they ain't got no damn money.
No, this sounds like it's just business. They trying to.
Well, they can if it's a contract, and that's what the contract says. They have to pay them the money.
No. Let me read this next part. In a statement in March 2021, after they sold Verzuz to Triller, Swizz Beatz and Timbaland said, "This is a momentous occasion, not only for Verzuz with Triller, but for the music industry as a whole, but putting Verzuz in the Triller network ecosystem, expand the Verzuz brand, the side-by-side most powerful, whatever." Separately, I'm trying to find the one.
It says Triller has been accused by multiple.
Yeah, multiple.
Multiple who?
Where's he at? Music group pulled his music catalog on Triller, alleging the app maker wasn't paying artists for the use of their music. In May 2021, the companies inked new worldwide listening deals covering publishing and recording music. December, Triller announced plans to become a publicly traded company through the reverse merger with Sea Change International. Now, basically, I read another article. What Triller is saying is Timberland and Swizz Beatz have not met an agreement about how many shows they have per year in 2022 so far. So basically what Triller is saying is you owe us a certain amount of shows. You're not getting this money till you give us the shows.
So Trillers is the owners, and Timberland and Swizz Beatz produces the talent.
There you go. And Triller,
so they're workers.
Especially in the, I think, what's the name of that Complex article? Triller literally said, we own it. This is ours.
Yeah.
Don't worry, it's not going anywhere. Basically what they're telling is, hey, black people, don't stop supporting Verzuz.
Or they can just go on and move it on and take it and start putting white people on it.
That's what I'm about to say. They know the second they do that, what is the backlash going to be. There shouldn't be. I already know what you're about to say. It shouldn't be any backlash. But you know that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So Triller's trying to make sure publicly they keep Timberland and Swizz Beatz close to them. And Timberland and Swizz Beatz are trying to use that as leverage in court. This is why how many verses have been this year? 2, 3?
Haven't been keeping up with it.
It's been only a handful. They haven't really been doing them because they're clearly trying to get some money first.
Yeah, the last battle was that R&B massacre we saw.
It was bad.
It was bad.
It was entertaining.
It may have been entertaining, but it made black Americans look terrible.
How did it make it look terrible? Huh?
Nobody could sing.
So Mario couldn't sing either?
Oh, Mario was okay.
He was just okay.
He's a singer.
What is it? What's his name?
Go back to the comment.
Oh, Jesus don't need to be rich to do his works. Them false teachers is real. Lands, Travis working hard 6 days a week, switching to get that extra cheddar for the something. He doesn't cause it working, just begun. Another thing I want to talk about, I don't know if y'all knew this or not. This is not a news story, but I didn't know about it. This story is from 2019 apparently. Maybe we did talk about it, maybe I saw it.
No, we didn't talk about it.
No, not talk about it on here, but just in real life. Well, this is real life, but yeah. Former NASA employee Wanda Sykes tells Stephen Colbert that, yes, he is probably bugged. The part of this I didn't know is that she actually was a NSA employee.
Yeah.
After college, she worked for the NSA for 5 years. Once again,
so she wouldn't know if somebody is being bugged or not.
So once again, another celebrity who has ties to an intelligence agency.
They all have ties to intelligence agencies.
And nobody really found it strange. Nobody says, wait, former NASA
because they're actors.
employee is working in Hollywood. It's like, well, we know for a fact that the military controls certain movies that come out of Hollywood. That's kind of the point of it. That's propaganda.
That's why they can do these movies, Born Identity, and all these other different type of government type movies, because most of them they've been trained in that.
And they tell you in your face.
Blatantly.
Like there's so many movies that come out of Hollywood that make America the good people and every other country is doing something bad. Everybody else needs saving for America. And even when they try to make America the bad guys, there's always somebody in the United States government who's trying to fight for the right side. So they're never completely bad and wrong on something. There's always somebody trying to do right.
Well, that's what we Americans do.
Yeah, okay. Now I want to show this too. Now here's the thing. The International Criminals Court. I'm showing this because a few years ago, and I found a video on YouTube talking about this. There was a International Criminals Court they go after, as you can see, trying individuals for genocide, war crimes, crimes against humanity, and aggression. So their job is to go around the world and go after people who are committing these war crimes. There was a man a few years ago. There was a thing called Kony 2012. I'm sure y'all 100% heard of it. Joseph Kony is I think he was a Congolese, or I forgot where he's from. Well, it's right here.
Ugandan.
A Ugandan military who founded the Lord's Resistance Army, a Christian fundamentalist organization designated as a terrorist group by the United Nations Peacekeepers, the European Union, and various other governments. So this man founded a quote-unquote terrorist organization. And there was a campaign to get him arrested. Apparently he did all these war crimes and stuff. But okay. But the people they tried to use to capture him, it was crazy.
Mr. and Mrs. Smith?
Exactly. Now, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, as we know, Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt, the president of the International Criminal Court wanted to use Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt to catch him. Why would the president of the International go for two Hollywood actors to be the bait to capture an African warlord?
Because the African warlord looked at Angelina Jolie's lips. And she just thought they could lure him.
The plan was for them to fly over Uganda, make a phone call to him with a radio, and tell him to meet for dinner.
And he'd say, "Sure, Angelina Jolie.
Angelina Jolie, of course.
I'm hooked. Sure."
And then
I've never had a pink toe.
Oh, pink toes.
George, you know about them pink toes?
George know about them pink toes. But but they were supposed to meet him when he go to the destination to meet them for the dinner. They were going to jump out and capture him. This is the actual plan they came up with. Like, what the hell is going on? Look at this one right here. George Clooney. I know y'all know George Clooney. George Clooney satellite project for human rights interests, new phrase. George Clooney owns satellites. Once again, the president of the International Criminals Court went to George Clooney so they can use his satellite to spy on a Sudanese, I guess they would call them terrorists. Why are they going to another actor to use his equipment to spy on someone?
Because he's more than an actor.
George Clooney. This is the guy they wanted to spy on right here. Omar al-Bashir. This is who George Clooney was spying on. George Clooney, the actor. Look at this one. This thing load fast enough. American arrested in killing of Haiti president worked alongside Sean Penn.
We all know
earthquake.
We all know Sean Penn is, yeah.
So when the Haitian president was assassinated, we talked about this a couple of shows. And we already came to the conclusion when we first heard the story that America had something to do with it. It took them a few weeks to finally admit it, that it was given the okay by somebody in the U.S. government. But we came to find out that it was two Americans, I think they were Haitian Americans.
Yeah, two Haitian Americans.
Two Haitian Americans who were with these Colombians to assassinate the Haitian, was he president or prime minister? I think they say president. Yeah, Haitian president. One of the Haitian Americans there worked with Sean Penn after the earthquake. How does he keep ending up in these situations where he just
do interviews with people? And
look at this one. Sean Penn is working on a documentary in Ukraine amid invasion. This is what? This is the one that really put the nail in the coffin for me when I saw this one. Obviously, Sean Penn he also interviewed and did a sit down with Hugo Chavez.
He's an interviewer.
5 reasons Sean Penn failed as a journalist. And Chapo, he interviewed El Chapo. I talk about that all the time because that's still crazy to me. They made that normal that an actor interviewed a international drug king.
Well, an actor is able to get into any character.
Oh, yeah. Listen to this one. In 1992, during the Rodney King riots in Los Angeles, Penn drove into a thick of the pandemonium. So he was there during the Rodney King riots. Who is this dude?
And got a shopping cart thrown through his window shield for his curiosity.
Dude?
Huh?
Who is this dude?
You know who he is?
Oh, I know. But the fact that no one is really, everybody just lets him kind of exist.
The man said he get to exist in this world.
Born in this shit, and don't forget John Wick. How many black people know about or seen the movie Drop Squad? I don't think I remember that movie. I know there was a movie that I remember hearing somebody talk about where it was a group of black people who took over a neighborhood and had I think I know. Is it the movie talking about is that the movie talking about where the black people had to kidnap the coons and reprogram them? I think that's the movie you're talking about.
Kidnap the coons.
I don't think you know about that movie. I think it's Drop Squad. It's a movie where black people kidnap other black people who are coons and rebrainwash them to believing in being, support their people. They get rid of the coonness out of them.
Mm.
She said, "What? One decisive former NASA employee again? Time of revealing, and that explains a lot about who and what and why and how the parts of people play. Exactly. George Carlin was the best at do it to tell the truth about American delusions."
Wanda Sykes was in Pootie Tang.
Yeah.
She was in Down to Earth. Murderer. I got your murderer.
Turned out she's a damn.
Now she's a government employee. Former. You're always.
How they said, anybody who works for the government always works for the government. Just because I like bunny meat don't mean I have to be a sucker. Pink toes. Oh yeah, I got that from what's his name, the former NFL player.
He was talking about him and Mike Tyson.
Michael Irvin, yeah. Pink toes.
When we heard it, I immediately said George. Pink toes.
Yeah. Oh man. All right, let me go back for a second. Yes, the fact that is not really talked about enough is kind of crazy. Damn, Wanda Sykes. Jesus. All right, look at this. Kansas City won't respond to calls as a retaliation against, I can't say that. Is that Devognier? Verdict. Lawsuit says. Daniel Fox alleged that police refused to investigate a break-in next door to his house and later intimidated him into deleting a Twitter post critical of the police's alleged inaction.
So pretty much, he called the police. He saw an intruder. When the police got there, he said they came to the door. They did not enter into the house.
Yeah, and
they left. And he pretty much said he stayed up all night with his gun out because he didn't know if the intruder was going to come to his house next and try to break into his house. And then he called them again. No, he called the news station
to tell them what happened.
And the chief pretty much left on his voicemail, we don't, ever since the case that involved that thing, we don't enter into
people's
houses.
This is how cops are reacting to being.
And he said he felt like it was intimidation the way he left the voicemail.
Yeah.
Subtle
threat.
And then while he was at work, 2 police officers came to his house and told his wife, left the card, and he felt like that was intimidation as well.
Yep. And
then I guess a woman reached out to him and said, what? I forgot what she said in the article.
I don't know that.
She was pretty much telling him that some police officers don't know they can enter into people's houses or not.
Is this it right here? I'm sorry you had an experience.
Yeah, that's
Goldstein told Fox News voicemail, but many citizens are going to have the same experience, but it's kind of out of the police's hands until that judgment is overturned on appeal so that we can go back to our business and keep citizens safe. You take care. Bye-bye.
Yeah, that's the chief.
What the? Yeah. So at this point, what they're telling you is you're on your own. If there's a certain ruling that goes against them that they don't like, they'll just not police.
But this is 2 totally different situations. There is a man calling you, telling you that there's intruders next door. He physically saw him breaking in. Y'all just killed somebody that was backing into their own house. That's 2 totally different situations.
Now, I will say this. He could say, well, you calling that person a break-in, they might not be breaking in. They might be breaking into their own house. But it's his neighbor. I'm sure he knows.
He knows how his neighbor look, but there have been situations.
Yeah. But they called the police on their neighbor and they ain't do nothing. Well, that's mainly black people, so.
I'm pretty sure this is a white neighborhood.
Yeah, it is. I think so, yeah.
Maybe he thought some of those zombies had broken into the house. Yeah, they're zombies. Those are the zombies.
Yeah, I know. Oh, yeah, the zombies, yeah. The ones who they're not protecting and saying that if they're on those drugs, you can't criminalize them.
The meth heads, the opioids, the fentanyl, those are your zombies.
When it was niggas in crack, Joe Biden got on stage and said, I don't care what the circumstances are, the streets need you out. You need to be off the streets. But now they're saying, you need to protect these people and give them shelter and literally create a zone for them to do their drugs legally. But okay.
Yeah, he called it a jungle.
Yeah.
For
I don't want my
crackhead living in a jungle.
Mississippi town sued after its former police chief bragged about killing black people. We talked about this, what was that, 3, 4, maybe a month ago?
Yeah.
It was a police chief who was on the phone with a black dude who was recording him. He was setting him up real good. He was so comfortable saying nigga. And he said, I shot a nigga 100 and something times.
Well, he might be hanging around black people that, let him say the N-word.
And now they're saying that he's being sued. It says civil rights group is asking for a federal investigation to systematic condone racism in a town where 86% of the population is black. How you got a white sheriff? How you got a black police chief in a majority? How you got a white police chief in a majority black town?
Are we really gonna answer that question?
Okay. The Civil Rights Advocacy Organization on Tuesday filed a lawsuit against the town of Lexington, Mississippi, and called for a federal investigation into what it described as systematic condoned racism with the town's government police department. The lawsuit details past examples of police violence and misconduct against black residents. Julian, the organization that filed for the suit in U.S. District Court of Southern Mississippi, said the incident highlights a top-down issue of racism in a town where most residents are black and most people in leadership positions are white. According to the data compiled by Julian and ACLU Mississippi, the LAPD customarily violated the First, Fourth, and 14th Amendments to fundamental right to travel freely in the Civil Rights Act. The lawsuit alleges over 200 black citizens have formally or informally complained about being harassed, arrested, or fined for baseless reasons in the past year or so. Well, that seems like that's kind of fixed if you just make your leadership black. You're the majority.
Well, you know what? Let's be honest. Just because it's a black face don't mean that it's good.
Although what we talked about last week was that case of the woman who had the black dude, the black officer, I'm sorry, who we said it looked like he was being a little too aggressive. We were wrong. She actually is the one who kind of turned it up.
She calmed down though.
Oh, she calmed down, all right.
I still haven't seen the video. You saw it?
Yeah, I did.
So what happened?
Basically, he came up, told her to sign it. She said, I'm not. She was like a little bit more, she's a lot more,
Was it just like unbearable to deal with? Or was it just a typical normal rolling neck sassiness?
I'm not signing. He told her, if you don't sign it, I'm going to have to. I guess in that state, it's not the same as other places. He said, if you don't sign it, I'm going to have to arrest you. And she was like, I don't care. I ain't signing it. He's like, okay. Then he tried to sign her, and then it's, okay, I'm going to sign it. And it's like, but you say you're not going to sign it. So should he have just let her sign it at that point?
Yeah, he should have just.
Or was she even going to sign it? She still wasn't going to sign it.
Well, if he said, ma'am, then go ahead and sign it, and she didn't sign it, then.
But no, that can be called coercion now. Because now I can see that I'm forcing you to sign it or I'm going to arrest you. No, I gave you the option. You said no, so now I'm arresting you. If I let you sign it now, it's going to be I threaten you with it.
Well, if she's supposed to sign it, then she don't get no option. Sign the paper.
Yeah, she has to sign it. If she don't sign it, she get arrested. That's considered options, but the game is the game, man. I want to show you this too. So if y'all know, there's a lot of beef going on between firefighters and and cops. I'm gonna show this
about
right
that fallen officer.
Who are the real heroes? Who y'all think the real heroes? I think the real heroes are firefighters.
When firefighters go into burning buildings, they go into cars that's flipped over.
Sometimes they're called first on the scene.
The most of the time they are.
Yeah.
Most things that happen. Hell, even you call for a medical issue, the fire department should come first.
Because sometimes the ambulance can't get here as fast.
So that's usually who you're dealing with.
Yeah, but they are overlooked because most TV shows are based on cops. You have a couple shows
about firefighters,
but not nearly as many as police officers.
That's not like firefighters ain't got a history of. You know how I think what race is it? No, what ethnicity? What they call them? Jesus. Who are known for being cops? The Irish. Is it Irish? In like Boston and places like that?
Irish. That's definitely Irish.
Firefighters also have a certain demographic who are known for being firefighters in certain areas. So they've excluded black firefighters before as well. As we know, it's not a surprise. It's not like a revelation. So they ain't got no pure history as either. But
we know they ain't got no pure history.
I know. I'm not, I'm not chastising you. I'm just saying, from the sense of who do more good. I mean, firefighters not hitting people with axes that I know of.
There could be proper places where they leaving your ass to burn up though.
Well, they have certain rules where if they can't go in, they don't go in. Like if it's a certain
demographic,
there's too much going on. Yeah, they got to leave you.
Comments about that fallen officer. Hi, Team Sheldon Fox live in Miami with more on this troubling text, Sheldon.
On the hot seat, Jeff, it describes the scenario for an unnamed Miami firefighter who worked at a fire station like this one here in Coconut Grove. We don't yet have his name confirmed, but his written words sure to have people heated. There's serious heat on a Miami firefighter, and it's got nothing to do with being on the job. But for what was texted about the tragic shooting death of Miami-Dade police officer Cesar Echeverri. The fireman texting within a group chat, quote, "Who cares? Another dead cop, probably against gun control. They didn't give a blank when kids were dying in that school shooting. They stood outside. Cops exist for the government to exercise its monopoly on violence. They want the whole world to stop when one of theirs goes down. How many idiots I had to transport with honor guard, their dead bodies from coronavirus, because they all were too stupid to wear masks or get vaccinated. All cops are good for is protecting the rich property owners and the status quo. Everything else is a farce. Expletive the police."
That right
only
there
thing I disagree with is the vaccine,
the gun control part. But this all you need is this right here.
Yeah.
Police, that's why you have, I can't remember. Cops don't like to be called police officers. That's a corporate term. They like to be called cops. So their job is to protect property, not defend people. This is why you have the people that say they're literally here to protect the rich. They're only here to protect property. This is why breaking and entering, if you break into someone's house and steal goods, that's a big deal.
Damn. He said, "Fuck the police" at the end.
Yeah. It's a firefighter.
It's a firefighter.
Let me finish this.
There's an officer down.
It's not the only eyebrow-raising commentary about Monday night's shooting.
Let them know they're going to have another officer down if they keep going at 70 miles an hour near my car.
That's
another cop. The cop said if other cops keep driving past my car at 170 miles per hour, it's going to be another cop down.
He's like, if they tear my shit up, I'm going to have to tear them up.
These are cops and firefighters talking like this.
Listen.
Oh, man. So are the Hollywood crowd and their connections, are we observing something that is hush-hush, i.e. communism at work, or capitalism as a front? Oh, yeah, American capitalism is done. You know, what's their name? China. China really doesn't have communism. They have like a mixture of capitalism and communism at this point. Not really that anymore. What up, Juice Man? So you guys, thank y'all for feeding the block. Duke Travis just paying to fuck with the big time. Yeah, I fuck with Big T. All right. All right. But yeah, America, that's pretty much what's going on. And it's not even quiet. Like, there's a certain election that we can't even talk about because of how much they just blatant with it. You said a year, you'll have to get flagged.
I ain't saying nothing.
Travis can't say nothing because he got us hit last time.
I didn't get us hit last time. You got us hit last time.
I'm talking about
any time before that.
See how you jumped the gun? I was talking about the year election thing. No, don't get quiet now. Say yeah, my bad.
No, I'm not saying yeah, my bad.
see
Because
that?
you got us hit before too. Don't try to put that on me.
You got us. Look, man, I get us hit. Oh, I didn't get us hit last time. That was something old.
That you said they got us hit.
No, it wasn't something we said. It was a video. Show that video of those people with magnets. What was something I said? Man who allegedly stabbed his coworker fails to appear in court.
Is it DeBarge? That's a DeBarge.
It look too dark for the barge.
No, they different shades.
Most of them.
That's a DeBarge.
So, Jan Della Pel Tolentino, what? Dan Della Pel Tolentino is accused of fatally stabbing his co-worker in the neck of a BJ's restaurant and brew house at Tri-County Mall on Friday. According to the court documents, he stabbed the victim because a witch told him that the other man was going to shoot him in the head with a gun. He has multiple charges against him, including murder and possession of drugs. Court documents said the judge set his bond at $500,000. So he didn't show up to court.
You can't be pausing that long. People gonna think the internet went out again.
Oh yeah. So he stabbed somebody because a witch told him he's gonna be shot with a gun.
That's witchcraft. Then DeBarge is into witchcraft too.
Probably is. They're in the industry. What's funny is I remember I saw I was at Vice News who pointed out that in America the rise in witches is going up.
Yep.
And they showed a video of doctors, lawyers, all type of people who were in a seance talking about Osiris.
They be having conferences all over everywhere.
So imagine you go to the doctor and you dealing with a person who's a full-blown witch. Like just let alone walking past them in the street.
Well, hell, you dealing with family members that are witches.
Definitely, cannot lie. Definitely witches and gargoyles, or whatever you want to call
warlocks.
them. Warlocks.
Gargoyles.
It's witches and warlocks out here. So I ain't gonna deny the man what he said he heard. I'm just saying you gotta protect your peace.
He said it was either him or the person that was told was gonna shoot him. Did the witch tell you that you were gonna go to jail?
Oh no, because he got up out of there.
Oh yeah.
The witch said, "You'll be all right. Don't even worry about it." Breonna Taylor warrant connected to Louisville gentrification plan, lawyer said. So Breonna Taylor thing's still going on. They fired the officer. I'm gonna talk about that in a second. They fired one of the officers who were a part of the case. They're saying that where she lived is a part of a gentrification plan or a project where they're trying to find a way to get people out of this neighborhood so they can build these other projects.
Oh, they want to bring in malls and.
So now this may not be related in the sense of why the cops was after her. This might just be a situation where the city simply pointed to an area and said, we need to get these people out. So the police come in and over police to either get those people out through prison or jail or get them out by getting them evicted from their homes. Let me tell you something. Growing up where I grew up, the cops 100%, if they can't get you for a crime, they will go to your landlord and make them evict you.
No, we got a story. They literally.
Hold up. No names.
No, I'm not gonna put no names.
Right, go ahead.
Okay. We lived in a neighborhood. Now, in this neighborhood, we had a lot of family members.
A lot of family.
At the very top of the street, there was they called it the White House.
The White House.
Across from where the family member lived, it was a blank, empty space. They built a house there.
So a house was built in an empty space in front of this other house that they
the White House
accused of committing crimes.
The White House.
The White House. And a woman moved into that house with a kid, and everybody instantly knew that's a damn cop that just moved into that house.
Exactly. And the funny part was, the family member that lived there, it was called the White House, but the rest of it was called the plantation.
Yeah. So that was the slave master, and the rest of us would be slaves in the hood.
No, because they were dealing it, and they were the dealers were the workers. That's why they was on the plantation.
Yeah.
They were the White House because they had the,
they had the stuff. They had that shit.
But on the plantation, there was a I can't even go into detail. Right? It was also other families in the neighborhood that was competition.
Listen, y'all, it was some shit going on. We ain't gotta say no more. Look, we told you where we from.
You could say it was like the Clintons,
the
Bushes,
the Cheneys,
the Obamas.
The Obamas.
No, I don't know nobody that was married to a
to a shapeshifter.
Yeah, a shapeshifter.
Say it like that. All right. So it said Breonna Taylor shooting was a result of Louisville Police Department operation to clear out the block in western Louisville that was part of a major gentrification makeover, according to attorneys representing the slain 26-year-old family. Lawyers for Taylor's family alleged in the court documents filed in Jefferson Circuit Court Sunday that the police squad, now this is from August 10th, Sunday, that the police squad named place-based investigations had deliberately misled narcotics detectives to target a home on Elliott Avenue, leading them to believe that they were after some of the city's largest violent crime and drug rings. The complaint, which amends their earlier lawsuit filed by Taylor's mother against the 3 Louisville officers who fired their weapons at Taylor's home, claims Taylor was caught up in a case that was less about drug house on Elliott Avenue and more about speeding up the city's multi-million-dollar Vision Russell development plan. The execution of this search warrant robbed Breonna of her life and Tamika Palmer of her daughter, Florida-based attorney Benjamin Crump, who was representing the family, told the Courier Journal on Sunday. Now listen, remember when what's his name, Garland, the Attorney General,
Garland,
he came out and said that
Merrick Garland,
Merrick Garland, I think how you say his name.
Yeah,
he literally came out and said that the police officers or the people that were investigating this thing literally purposely falsified documents, did not do any investigation to prove it, to make sure the information they were giving was true. They purposely did this.
We know why they did it.
Maybe. I'm not gonna sit here and say that this whole thing was about getting people.
But it played a part in it.
Might have been. We should have played some part. Like I said, the city pointed to an area. We need this cleared. The police job was to over-police that area.
And they definitely will try to gentrify areas.
Oh yeah.
Because it's funny, the area that we lived in, it was weird because the neighborhood behind us were like huge houses.
So the little neighborhood we lived in was like an old suburb, probably from the houses probably were from like the 80s or 70s. They were old houses from like the 70s or 80s. Old suburb, you can tell. But the surrounding area was upper middle class homes. So it was like it was a literal fence separating the two areas. It was crazy. And that's how gentrification worked. That means the Caucasians lived in the area we lived in then, but that was in the 70s. They moved out. They moved the black people in. So when they were trying to get the black people out again, they started building around the area. They started building better homes around the area. So at some point, the second you move out, guess what's going to happen? Somebody's going to buy the house. And nobody's moving in it. They don't want nobody to move in it. Just buy it and let it sit there for years and years and years. Somebody else move out, buy their house too, let that sit there for years and years and years. And then when enough of them is gone, then go in and start building it up, fixing the property.
Well, hell, why they ain't went to Detroit yet? All those empty houses.
Once Detroit lost the industry, Ford and all that stuff, it was over for them. It was kind of tits up from there. It was tits up from there, bub. Louisville Police Fire Sergeant Kyle Meany, is that how you say his name? Meany?
He's a meanie.
More than a meanie. After federal indictments in Breonna
Look who in the damn
case.
picture. Ben Crump.
Oh, he always there.
And Tamika Mallory, she's there.
I can't believe.
Wow.
Miss Cadillac herself. Can you believe they gave Cadillac, Hennessy, and something else? They gave endorsements to activists, and they took them. Hennessy, Cadillac.
Well, hell, Ben Crump should have been in that Cadillac.
Hey, Ben Crump, at least he a lawyer. He a lawyer, ain't he?
He's a liar?
He's an attorney. Well, that's the difference. Is he an attorney or a lawyer?
He's a lawyer.
Okay.
No, I listen. They use the words interchangeably.
Yeah, it's not the same thing at all. But it said more than 2 years after the killing of Breonna Taylor, the fourth Louisville Metro Police officer has been fired in connection to the March 2020 raid on her apartment. Kyle Meany, who joined the department in 2013, was terminated after meeting the chief, Eureka Shields. The department announced Friday. The termination comes 2 weeks after Meany and his 3 other former officers were indicted by the federal grand jury on various charges, largely relating to the search warrant that allowed officers to break into Taylor's apartment. I made a decision to terminate him after careful consideration and not with ease, Shields said in a statement provided Friday through the LMPD spokeswoman. I fully respect the judicial process and realize Sergeant Meany has yet to be heard before the jury of his peers. That being said, he is facing multiple federal charges after a lengthy investigation by the DOJ. As an employer, the character of our organization is paramount and it is not reasonable to expect continued employment under such conditions. What you're saying is, we're trying to get that fire away from us. He hot right now. Fire him. He'll go somewhere else to find a job. That's pretty much what's going to happen. Maybe. It seems like they following these people now. Cause old buddy, what's his name? Who tried to get a job, try to change his name, and they still find out what his real name was and fired him.
Yeah, we talked about it. I can't remember who it is though.
So they can't really get away that way anymore either. Look at this. Couple sues after their home worth went from $472,000 to $750K due to removing any indication that it has had a black residence. This, I don't think I need to read this. We know how this go. This is controlling wealth right here. This is very detrimental to any group that this is purported towards. Listen, should we expect them to want to buy stuff that we own for the same expense for somebody else, for somebody of their own race?
I would say yeah, if the house is worth it.
In a fair system, I agree.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about when we start talking about the lines of ethnicity and all this other stuff, socially.
So if you
expect that,
if you were buying a house from a white person, you think it should be by lesser?
I didn't say it should be.
Or are you just going by the condition of the house?
I'm not saying you should be. I'm saying is it normal for people to try to get over on people that don't look like them? Is that normal?
Yes and no.
What do you mean yes and no?
Because sometimes people just, like for me, if I went into, I'm speaking for me personally, I can't speak for everybody, but if I'm going to a house and the house is in good condition, that doesn't mean that you try to, talk the price down. But at the same time, if the house is in good condition, why not just buy it for its value and worth? White people are the only people that do this, to be honest with you. And let's be clear, black people do it towards other black people.
You think black people do it towards other black people more than they do it to the other races? Yes,
I'm going to be honest. Yes, they do.
You think they charge less?
Yes, they do.
Black people?
I'm not going to say they charge more, but like
they look to get a cheaper price.
They look to get a cheaper price, not charging more, cheaper price. Everybody tries to get a cheaper price though.
I agree.
But when it's black people buying for other black people, come on, man, you can look out for me.
Yeah, definitely.
Somebody gonna disagree.
This has been happening. This type of story pop up all the time.
How do people live like that?
Townhouse.
Up
we got
in
family
the
that own
north.
townhouses.
What family own townhouses?
In Philly.
Who do you know in Philadelphia?
I don't know them personally, but I know they're there.
What family member you know in Philadelphia that lives in a townhouse?
We had a grandma. Or was she an aunt?
Our grandmother did not have. She did not have a town. That was not a townhouse.
What was it?
It wasn't a townhouse. I know that for sure.
You don't know what it was?
I know it wasn't a townhouse.
Okay. Well, the point of the matter, people living. What do you mean? How can you not live in?
Is dude gonna get called out for lying?
Why lying?
You lied. You don't know nobody in Philadelphia that has a townhouse.
So she didn't have a townhouse.
She did not have a townhouse.
That was a townhouse.
It was not a townhouse.
How's that a lie? We simply disagree on what it's called. That's not a lie.
You said we got family members. That's
more
not
than one person.
Okay, who do you know?
I don't know the woman's name.
Not just the woman. Who else do you know besides the grandmother?
I don't know their name. They distant. Okay. They distant relatives. Come on.
Distant relatives.
Are y'all really gonna hold me to not
distant lies?
Y'all
That's
really
what it is.
Y'all really gonna hold me to not knowing my distant relatives?
No, they're not gonna hold you. They're not gonna hold you.
Oh, here you go. So y'all gotta stop talking about shit about me in the comments or chat.
I don't care if they talk shit about you or not. I do it enough for them, so they don't need to do it.
Sorry is not good enough. Met police strip searching hundreds of children, says Children's Commissioner Dame Rachel D'Souza. That name D'Souza been ringing in my head for like
you ain't gonna, you know, but you know when the vitriol that you have towards the D'Souzas, but I can't say nothing about other blacks around the country because I get called out.
Y'all remember I think it was last year, or maybe it wasn't last year. There was a case called Child Q. There was a young black girl in the UK who was strip searched. She was forced to strip down at a school. That became a big story. Well, They said that was a one-off. They don't happen as often. But as you can see here, the case of Child Q, a black teenager who was strip searched at her school after being wrongly accused of carrying cannabis, has been wrongly described as a one-off. The children's commissioner said one of the hundreds of children searched, most were black boys. Now they did say 50% of the time they found a weapon.
So we know it in the UK, a knife.
Yeah. So I don't know.
The UK they bring a knife to a gunfight.
I'm just saying they said that 650 young people aged 10 to 17 between 2018 and 2020. So they forced conductive intrusive searches on 650 young people. So I don't know. They did say they're going to say Dame Rochelle D'Souza, Children's Commission, said the case has been wrongly described as a one-off. She told Sky News, "I am really shocked and sad to say it is not." She added, "In 50% of the strip searches, no further action was taken." So that doesn't say that other 50% had weapons or contraband. It just says in 50% of the cases, they just had them stripped and then put their clothes back on and go about the day.
Why you need a script to?
Because they have to search them. In America, we got metal detectors.
Well, it's time for them to upgrade.
I think they got metal detectors too, but I guess they go.
No, it just seems like they some pedos. They want to see young kids
that too
naked. That's what it sounds like.
What's his name? What was that TV personality name? Civil. The TV personality over there who's a known pedophile.
That dude.
Yeah, what's his name?
He had a kids game show talk show host.
Yeah, I forgot his name.
Oh, he was terrible. Nobody was discriminated against.
Hold on, let me look this name up. Now I'm into this.
He raped girls, boys, elderly people, elderly women, elderly
Jimmy
men.
Savile, that's his name.
He went after everybody. He didn't care what. That's
complete debauchery. It's just
he's finished.
He also was messing with kids who were mentally handicapped.
Yeah, he was messing with seniors
everybody, and it's funny because
they can't even move in the bed, like they're bed bound, and
there was a documentary on Netflix. Well, it's supposed to have went into this, but they didn't really talk about.
No, we know why.
They kind of stuck to
whatever you know.
They stuck to the allegations.
They don't go below the surface.
Yeah, I was like, okay, that's all y'all gonna talk about. But that really raises the question for me about whether they were proportionate and should have been undertaken. The experience, she says, should be traumatic for any child. In a strip search, the most intimate parts are searched. So yeah, of the 650 children who were searched in 3 years, 19 in every 20 were boys, and 58% were described by the officers as being black.
They gonna get you for pointing out it was little black boys.
The truth is the truth. I ain't said they did. What'd I do wrong? Hold on, let me see what y'all saying anything. She said, agree. Firefighters, officers are not. What a difference several decades made. Yep. Cops protect property and not people. And people get serious time for theft versus homicide. They almost, drugs is the only thing that might be more, because this country is all about getting people in prison or jail at this point. So, drugs do the most because they want to just get you in jail. Just anything. Y'all gonna learn some code talk so you can speak your mind and not get flagged. Yeah, shapeshifter. Yeah, you got to be honest. All right, let me go back to this now. Now this, I don't think did you see this one?
Yes,
this is crazy.
I did. A child protective service
crazy
employee.
Let me show y'all. I'm gonna show y'all the video.
And we begin tonight.
Look at this. This is crazy.
With a story that you'll only see here on Fox. An employee with Child Protective Services is caught on camera telling a 14-year-old girl in foster care to become a prostitute.
That's right, and this girl is one of hundreds of kids in CPS custody living in hotels all over the state. Fox 26's Randy Wallace live from Southwest Houston here with this story. Randy, the exclusive.
Yeah, Jonathan. Now, earlier this year, a federal judge scorned Child Protective Services for making kids available for prostitution in the CPS system. Now we have a case where an employee with that state agency is actually encouraging prostitution of a 14-year-old child.
Don't be a hoe, be a real hoe.
Wouldn't they remove a child from a parent that told their child to be a prostitute?
They should. And they would.
Keisha Basley has 9 kids. She turned to Child Protective Services to help her with her 14-year-old daughter, who she says was running away and causing trouble at school.
My daughter told me that the worker had been telling her that she should do the.
So you went to the state instead of your family?
Exactly. So that says
on the father. You went to the state instead of uncles.
Okay, we have to go down the list. Father
number 1.
Grandparents, brother,
uncles,
sister,
uncles and aunts. Then your brothers and sisters. Then cousins, older cousins.
So you gave her to CPS because you couldn't do anything with her.
But you didn't go to family.
I think you should have just kept your daughter.
Yeah.
These things. So she said she decided to video her.
Please. CPS is housing the girl at a hotel. She's one of dozens in Harris County. In the video, she tells the CPS employee she wants food. The CPS worker tells her to be a prostitute. I mean, she was basically encouraging a 14-year-old girl to become a prostitute.
And giving her an incentive to do so, and almost a threat of not having her needs being met if she didn't do what this woman very explicitly told her to do.
Was she trying to be her pimp?
Is
this a black woman telling a little black girl?
I'm going to get to how she said it and why this might be taken out of context. Just hold on.
But it was a black woman telling a young black girl?
I think it was a black woman, yeah.
If the parent, was to do something like this to my child, I would be bashed. I would be called a horrible parent.
You would.
Well, you already a horrible parent because you gave a kid over to CPS.
Hold on. You can't call her a horrible parent. She said, how many kids she said she got?
5?
They said 9.
I thought she had 5 kids.
Okay, 5. And she couldn't handle one of them. I'm not, I
then
just
don't have all the kids. Don't have that many kids if you can't handle having that many kids. You know what you got to do? What's the word? Abstinence.
Shit. That ain't gonna work.
Well, then you're gonna keep having kids.
I will lose my kids.
Basley filed a formal complaint with CPS.
This should not happen to girls in their care. This should not happen. All
right, now let me get to what I want to say. Now, what she said was, she said this to the little girl. She said, if you're gonna be a hoe, be a hoe. That sounds a lot like
a mother
classic. No, that sounds a lot like the classic movie. You smoke crack, don't you? So was she actually asking her to be a prostitute, or was she calling her out?
She might have been calling her out.
Was she being strict on her? Like, oh, you want some food? You want something? Or you doing all this other stuff? Why you ain't out here doing this to get the stuff? Was she being hard on her, tough love, or was she actually telling her to be a prostitute?
See, now you got me thinking.
You see how I added that in to y'all? Yeah, you see how I just added that?
Because I can't imagine
her telling the girl to be a prostitute.
If you're gonna be a hoe, be a hoe.
But that's also from the joke that Eddie Murphy had on Sunday Night Live. Be somebody. Be a hoe.
But you know what? She's a professional, and you have to stay professional in this setting. You don't know who's recording you, and you shouldn't be scared of being recorded or what somebody's doing because you should remain professional at all times.
Yeah, the girl is still in foster care. Gonzalez told NBC News on Monday the fired employee had 2 business days to challenge the termination, said Miko Gutierrez, a organizing coordinator of the Texas State Employee Union. The worker chose not to file a rebuttal, Gonzalez said, and Gutierrez refused to comment on her behalf. However, did broadly blame the state for warehousing kids in hotels, which has been an unmitigated disaster on the behalf of the agency.
That's absolutely crazy that they are housing kids in hotels. That means they can leave whenever they want to leave. They can have people come in a hotel when they want to have people come in a hotel. So she probably is.
You know what it is? It's the Texas Shuffle. Remember that? We just watched a documentary on maybe Vice.
Is this trafficking?
Yes. Let me get to it. So in Florida, there was this thing called the Florida Shuffle, where after Obama signed the ACA, it had something to do with getting people with mental health or drug abuse under insurance. What they did was to take those people on drugs or mental health that was put underneath that we pay for without you wouldn't have to pay for that out of your pocket. So in Florida, the people who run clinics, rehab centers,
California too,
halfway houses in California, they would then convince these drug abuse people, particularly women, to come to there to keep them on drugs because you were paid money to test them. You were paid, was it $1,500 to test somebody?
Yeah, $1,500. They would be testing them with different drugs.
Yeah,
pregnancies. That's another fee added on.
Yeah, so if you get somebody to test 5 times a week, the one person, $1,500 each. That's a lot of money. Now you start going to, now you got 10 girls or 10 people testing 5 times a week, $1,500 each time.
And then they were making more money on the back end.
Yes. So then
prostituting.
They're about to say, now you go into the whole, give them the drugs so they'll relapse, so you can recharge them again, and you would then sell them to literal pimp them to people so they can continue to get their drugs. So you would keep them on drugs, then you would bring people in to pay to have sex with them.
There was a black dude that they
down in Florida, the most popular one was a dude named Chapman. He was doing it. He had the biggest operation going on. They call it the Florida Shuffle. Now you got one in Texas, California, North Carolina.
The white
Jersey,
woman said,
Philadelphia.
she's a woman now.
Yeah.
She said it was 4 people, and he said they only paid $10.
20.
4 people.
When he got mad with her,
$5 each.
When he got mad with her, he told her, he let 4 men come in and he told her afterwards they paid $20 to do that, just to make her sit there and know
her self-esteem, which would make her want to do drugs.
And then she do the drugs, you get the money, now you test it, now you bring the man back in.
That's mental abuse. That is mental.
Mental abuse. That's abuse.
I'm talking about from his end.
I know. But
yeah, several different types of abuses.
So is that the same thing going on with CPS?
CPS?
Child Protective Service. They got them holding up in hotels. What they doing in the hotels?
Instead of Child Protective Services, Child Prostitute Services. Allegedly, because I don't want to be flagged.
Allegedly. So you're telling me they got these people, these little kids, these.
Ooh, they gonna get
me.
What are
they? 13 set to 17.
When they get us, they gonna get us. By the way.
Wait, they got them sitting in hotels, right? And the girl's coming to them saying she needs something to eat and drink. How you got a 14-year-old in a hotel and she has nothing to eat or drink? So what you got her doing to get money?
Is the mama
still bringing money to her, food to her?
She shouldn't. She's under she's under care. They get a check for that probably. Well, a foster parent would get a check. The CPS. But I'm saying
right here, foster care.
They should have in those hotels. They should have them a refrigerator. Somebody should take them weekly or monthly.
First off, they
to
should
go and get stuff. No,
in a hotel.
Because when I think of hotel, I think of
exactly.
That's what I think.
So it's obvious what they're doing. Look, you see, it is a foster care. The girl is still in foster care.
Yeah, and the mama didn't pull her out of. Okay, we're not gonna attack the mama, even though she still has her daughter living in foster care, because she don't want to have to deal with her.
If this right guy, the queen knighted him. I told y'all last year, switch your YouTube category to comedy. You'll throw the algorithm off, and they will take you back since y'all do make jokes. I think I put it on entertainment, didn't I? I think it's on entertainment now. But y'all try that. Meth planets do the same. Exactly. All this stuff is just a circle. They're just profiting off people who going through a lot of stuff.
So they're profiting off of the suffering and pain of homelessness.
But then we go further. The opioid clinics.
Yeah.
I mean, the opioid pharmacies. And then you got the CVS and Walmart. We're going to talk about that later. So it's a whole, you can go all the way to the top.
Yeah.
And see where it starts.
Now, you said that when you was in school, they had you picking cotton.
They did.
Did you meet your quota, though?
They can't see the screen. Hold up.
Oh.
Okay. Black woman sues over cotton picking project at daughter's Hollywood school. Yes. When I was in 3rd grade, I had a teacher named Miss Smith. You should remember her. She's a white teacher. She's the one who said she lived in the neighborhood we lived in back in the 70s. She said she grew up there. But anyway.
It was a less rougher.
We went on a field trip. Yeah, when we came, she was bringing me home one day. She said, it looked much different when I grew up here. But
it wasn't so many colored people.
Spooks. Spooks.
Look at that spook.
So in the 3rd grade, we went on a field trip. And where we live, obviously it's a rural area. There's a lot of farms around us. They put us on a school bus, drove us to a farm.
But we actually lived in a city limit.
We lived in a city limit, but it was rural around it. That's what I meant.
Okay.
It's a rural area. They took us to a cotton field, gave us a bag.
How many did you meet your quota though? Did you fill that bag up?
No, I ain't meet no quota.
So you trying to pretend like you wouldn't have been good at all? You letting them know it wasn't gonna happen. I was gonna be in the house.
I ain't no house nigga. I'm a field nigga.
If people saw you, they would disagree.
Shit. So you have to go out there in the field.
You got eyes like Massa.
And you had to.
What you doing out here? You know you supposed to be now, boy.
And you had to pick the cotton and put it in the bag and fill it up. It's a plastic bag. And then you would take the cotton, you would go home, go back to the classroom, and you would use that same cotton to build a project, like a snowman or something like that. That's what they used it for.
No, they knew not to try the group of kids I was with because we weren't picking no cotton. There would have been an uproar. Pick cotton. The teachers going out there to pick cotton because we ain't going out there to pick cotton.
What's funny is I've seen stories around the country of teachers doing slave auctions in classroom to teach about slavery. And it was like, what are these teachers thinking?
Okay, well, let's be honest. We know there would have been some kids that would have been making jokes. Like, that nigga wouldn't have got that.
Look, the jokes was there. We got to understand, this was third grade. So
the third grade? I'm thinking like middle school. See, that's why they got away with that because
in
elementary school.
The jokes would have been flying.
Yeah.
The teachers would have been getting lit up. You must be out here too, mister. But yeah, Rashonda Pitts alleged the defendant discriminated against her plaintiff daughter was identified as the only as SW in the Los Angeles Superior Court complaint brought Wednesday. A black woman filed a civil rights suit on behalf of her daughter against Los Angeles Unified and the Board of Education, alleged the girl suffered emotional distress after the cotton picking field was set up at her Hollywood school in 2017 as an instruction tool about what life is like for slaves.
Sound like somebody trying to get a check.
Now, this is a liberal state doing this.
It's always the liberal places that's doing it.
Defendants discriminated against her plaintiff daughter who identified
You know why? Because the liberals like to keep you in that trauma state of mind.
You're a slave.
They want you to keep wanting to get in that hug and acceptance.
And we're your savior.
Yeah. That's why they do that in liberal.
She has uncontrollable anxiety attacks and has experienced bouts of depression when she thinks about the cotton picking project, according to the suit, which is alleged negligence and seeks unspecified damages. Who is now 14 years old, attended Lawrence Spann School in Hollywood in the fall 2017, and enthusiastically shared the events of her school day with the Pitts at first, but her daughter became more sullen as the semester went on and attributed it to being tired, in the suit states. I'm going to ask you this question once. You ain't got to go into detail. Should she actually sue for this?
You see in the article, they said only one black parent has come forward. Pretty much that's what they were saying. No, because I can't tell her not to feel how she feels.
Hold on. From perspective of, we just said that this is meant to put the woe is me victim.
So maybe she's trying so maybe she's trying to say
put that in my daughter's head.
So yes, and that could be emotional distress, trauma,
the rest of her life, where she think this is where we come from.
So yes, and if we're going from that perspective, then yes, she should sue their ass. But if we going for what I really think she doing, which is trying to get some bread, which I still can't be mad at her.
Can't be mad. Get your bread, sis.
We got to get our reparations some way, somehow.
Some way, somehow.
So either way, no, I can't be mad at her.
Okay, I agree. Elephant with KKK.
Here they go, trying to smear the.
I want y'all to hear his theory on this, how he found a way to defend this shit. Yeah, elephant with KKK imagery shared on Alabama County GOP page was a mistake, chair says. So they shared a picture, and in this picture, the Republican elephant had three.
I didn't even notice it because
I know
I knew it was propaganda.
It had 6 dots, as you'll see, underneath the elephant, and people were like, "What the hell is that?" Very quickly, people realize that's fucking KKK hoods. Look at this. That's not an accident. Because if you take the eyes away from it, what is the eye supposed to represent? What is it? Come on.
It's bats.
Oh, it's bats.
That's what it is.
Saying flies or some shit as an elephant.
No, it looked like bats or something. I don't know.
So what is it really?
It's bats.
So you don't see that long ass, you don't see them hoods.
That's the elephant's legs. That's how the elephant does. His legs, he's taller in the front.
Y'all see what they're doing, right?
It goes down.
Y'all hope. Well, by the way, let me make sure y'all do says that he's joking. Hope y'all do.
Who said I was joking?
Oh, you not? Okay, I'm gonna hold him to it then. Fire his ass up.
Listen, we all know that this is propaganda. Clearly, the left told him to tweet this out because of the midterm elections is coming up, and they're trying to smear the conservative party. And we're not falling for it.
That was the one that said that if we go true full-blown Republican, we can get more views. So see what he's doing. He's making his push right now.
No, what I'm letting them know in the conversation is, hey, we can switch this thing up real quick on you.
I've seen people go from 30 views a video to getting hundreds of thousands. I'm like, damn, these niggas hustling hard.
Next thing you know, Brandon Tatum be on here, Candace Owens be on there. We be
lying.
They be like, I knew especially that trial. I knew there was some coon ass. They'd do anything for a check.
Oh boy. The chair of the Alabama County Republican Party says she will not resign after the picture of the elephant with KKK imagery was temporarily shared.
Why should she resign?
Facebook page. The image depicts the red, white, and blue elephant, which appears that there are three white hooded figures with dark eyes between its legs, according to the screenshot of Facebook post shared on Twitter by Alabama State Representative Anthony Daniels, a Democrat. Oh, a Democrat is the one who exposed it.
Of course, the Democratic would be the one to expose it because the Democratic was actually the one that hacked the account and did that.
Oh, they hacked the account.
They hacked the account.
They literally admitted it right here.
Yeah.
I would like to offer a deep and sincere apology for the picture that temporarily appeared on this page last night. A Google search picture of a GOP elephant was used and later found to have a hidden image that did not represent the views and beliefs of the Lawrence County Republican Party.
Damn right.
The picture was then immediately replaced. As chairman, I take full responsibility for the error. Sharon Terry. Now, she definitely got a Southern Republican name, Sharon Terry.
Does that sound like somebody that would be associated with the Ku Klux Klan?
It sounds exactly like it.
Sounds like somebody that's very caring and supportive of the minorities and the people of color.
Stop the bullshit, man. Ooh, Travis, there you go switching. Oh, Travis proud he never picked cotton. Travis is not about that struggle. Oh Lord. All right.
Well, George, you get hanged for messing with the pink toes.
Oh, pink toes have George swinging.
George like pink toe? Don't go up there, man. Don't do it, man. I was gonna be with her tonight. We in love. Don't do it, George. She ain't worth it.
Don't be curious, George.
Don't be curious, George. Man, no. She leaving master for me. We gonna run this whole place, and I'm gonna set everybody free.
I'm gonna set everybody free.
Then next thing you know, George out there, he got niggas being whooped. He working us harder than the damn master was. I take master back. George ain't shit. This won't the plan.
All right, let's move on to this. NYC moving migrants into famed luxury Times Square hotel. I saw an old black man. He saw this. He's like, what? They didn't even do this for Katrina victims. Yeah, they did. They threw Katrina victims in a football stadium with prisoners.
Yep.
Think about that for a second.
That's our 9/11.
Yeah.
Never forget.
And it never gets really talked about. Man, we can go into the theory about the levees and what really happened. People said they heard the explosion.
It wasn't just black people that said that. It was white people that said that they heard the levee blow.
So
the people were trying to get to the bus. They had to go through our Ku Klux Klan community, pretty much.
It's a documentary on YouTube.
There was a black man who lived in the neighborhood. He couldn't
go outside.
Couldn't go outside.
They tell him you come out that door.
And they've known him, been there for years.
No, but the second they had a chance, they was already there.
That's your occasions.
Like they try to show those videos of people swimming around with TVs and stuff. Yeah, there was some people doing that, but a lot of people were trying to get the hell out of there.
They were trying to get on the bus to go to Texas, but unfortunately,
there were people going. There were people across the country going to New Orleans to shoot niggas. Literally, getting in fatigues, getting in their car, getting on planes, going down to New Orleans to shoot.
But people. Let's just be a little New Orleans. Y'all have Caribbean tendencies. You do witchcraft stuff.
Oh.
You got Mardi Gras, which is kind of close to Juve type of stuff. And the Most High don't like that type of stuff.
Yep. So the Democratic Party is associated with the starting the KKK real history. Exactly. The KKK and all that other stuff, the party for the slavers, the Democratic Party, The ones who were against ending slavery were the Democrats, not the Republicans. It was the Democrats. That's why it's funny when they try to flip that shit nowadays. It's crazy. They gotta have booty. Well, back then, wasn't women a little bit thicker back then?
Not white women.
No, not their butts, body. They were just way more.
White women are known for having childbearing hips.
That's what I'm saying. They had a childbearing hips. I don't know.
Wide hips and flat asses.
NYC moving migrants into famed luxury hotels. Now look who did it. Please don't tell people this is my guy.
Oh, Mr. This is I told y'all, this is his boy.
This is not a luxury Manhattan hotel once touted as the lullaby of Broadway will soon be providing Betty Bye to hundreds of asylum-seeking migrants.
And Eric Adams is not Black American.
Mayor Eric Adams plans to convert the Row NYC, formerly known as the Milford Plaza and located in pricey tourist-packed Times Square, into an intake center for shelter for the many as 600 migrant families in the city's spiraling homelessness crisis. 3 sources familiar with the matter said. In a month or two, we're about to open up the City Department of Homeless Services for homeless, a hotel staffer told the Post on Monday. Now,
I already know how these city homeless crisis centers is gonna look. They're gonna build houses for them. They're gonna have granite countertops, stainless steel refrigerators, gas, 6 gas burner stoves with the grill in the middle. They're gonna have a faucet above it, so they don't have to go all the way.
What do they call it? A bidet?
Yeah,
in the bathroom.
They're gonna have a bidet. They're gonna have a toilet where you piss in, a toilet where you shit in, and a toilet where you wash your ass when you're done. So there's 2 different toilets. Just the PR, use the number 2.
Luxury, baby. Luxury. Only the best.
His, her, and other. They're gonna have 3 different sinks in the bathroom.
Yeah, because they are inclusive. You gotta be
inclusive. You can't have his, her. What about them? They.
Us. Me. Me as a person now too, ain't it right? Me.
I don't know. Ask Meg Thee Stallion.
And I. Oh yeah.
She got a song out.
Now, where are these homeless people coming from, or where are these migrants coming from? Texas. So he went from busing them to just Washington. He's sending them to New York.
Two liberal places. Send them there.
But they he busting them to New York, and they're taking them and putting them in luxury hotels because they already have a homelessness problem.
Send them to Mayor Lightfoot too. Let her get a couple of them.
Well, they're supposed to be sending them to where Biden from?
Delaware.
Delaware. I guess they couldn't get them there. I don't know. Maybe they got the shotguns ready.
They do, because Delaware is not. I don't think Delaware is not a liberal place.
It's not.
So they got.
Well, it might be. Delaware might be. Well, it might be like a moderate.
It may be moderate, but it's not liberal.
They are working on an agreement on a contract. The worker said of a plan which is designed to help handle homeless border crossing buses. The city from Texas. It'll be here at this hotel, but they'll keep the DHS shelter on a certain floor, but that hasn't started yet. They said a month or 2. So
yep, that's how their apartment's gonna look. Didn't I tell you? They already letting you know. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Didn't I tell you?
That's the people there. Look at they getting ready to get in the car. Or they riding in Bentley trucks to get there, I guess.
Limousine, limo. When they go look for jobs, they don't have an Uber pick them up. They ride around in a damn limo.
They got a gym. Look at there.
They gotta stay. They gotta stay active because they always on the move, running from place to place. They got a swimming pool in there too because they like to swim.
Black Americans by Walter Blackman. The ratio that's some bot.
Well, the bot telling the truth.
Yeah, that's the first time I ever seen a bot not talk about porn. That's all bots do. They hop in your comments and your chat and go straight to it. All right, let's get to it.
AI said they need love too.
Look at Travis. Travis ready to go.
Here we go. Another Nigerian.
This is a situation that happened. I think she's a professor she's a professor at a college. I don't know if she's still working there because people trying to get her fired.
She'll be gone.
Statement regarding my past use of the word akata.
You remember the song "Stay Away From Me, Akata"? They got a song called "Stay Away From Me,
He's
Akata."
not a famous rapper. He just some dude.
He's a rapper. He may be popular in Nigeria.
He's not.
How you know?
He's Nigerian American. He's from Washington.
And they probably know him in Nigeria.
I don't think they know him.
Shit, if he's Nigerian, they know him. They try to take any credit they can get.
First, I apologize for the offense and hurt I caused. Perception is reality, and impact outweighs intent. So although I did not use the word with any intent to slur African Americans, that is what I ultimately did. Akata is a Yoruba word. I don't speak Yoruba, so I don't know its literal meaning, wild animal, until 2 years ago. I knew some use as a slur for descendants of enslaved, which I am. I used it for from a broader Nigerian pidgin context, simply meaning Black American. When I used Akata here 2 years ago, I knew some use it as an anti-African American slur. However, I thought my meaning or using it that way made it okay. I was wrong, and I sincerely apologize. Link to my original tweet plus discussion of the word.
And then she tweeted out something about a Black Cat Day.
Hold on, because it was slick what she did it. So she said she's descendant of enslaved. I don't know. Some people saying she's Nigerian.
She is Nigerian.
I don't know. You going by her name? People choose names.
You're right, they do.
So I don't know.
She's Nigerian. She got it all over her. Everything I can just tell. The aura.
So I saw somebody. I guess there was a Yoruba, or I think it was a Yoruba person. They said that Akata means black cat, and they said the reason why it means black cat is because they created the term to talk about Black Americans who were part of the Black Panther movement.
What they got to do with them?
The Black Panther movement, that was considered a Black American, what do they call it? Movement. So it was like Black Americans, Black Panther. So they said the word means Black Panther or black cat in reference to them, Black Americans. That's how they said it.
They renamed the definition.
No, they said that was the definition when it first started. Over time, they said it meant anybody who was of Nigerian descent, I guess, who weren't in Nigeria. They would call it Akata or lost cat, and all that other shit started coming into it. This is what they said, and I'm like, but I literally can find 100,000 tweets of you directing it only towards Black Americans in a negative connotation with it. It do. Now I don't know. She might already started tweeting more stuff, so I might not be able to find. No, I'll be able to find it. Hold on. Hold on.
What?
She deleted? Oh, she just retweeted a bunch of stuff.
There it go.
All right,
go up.
Now this is when she apologized. This is August 17th. I don't need the time. You know, it was 17th. So look, then she retweeted this. Today, August 17th, is a National Black Cat Appreciation Day. Here's a thread of some of my favorite black cat images to celebrate. First, Black Cat auctions for the film Tales of Terror. Audition for the film Tales of Terror. So she retweeted something about black cats after she defended using the term Akata.
The vitriol they have towards Black Americans is insane.
That was crazy when I saw that. Now this next story, did you read this one? You didn't read it?
Yes, I did read it.
Oh wait, just hold on. U.S. activists say Benin Bronzes should be returned to Nigeria. Shouldn't be returned to Nigeria as it profited from slavery.
That, you know what? That is crazy that Nigeria. Benin was a name.
It was part of the Homie Kingdom.
It was part of the Homie Kingdom. Nigeria used to be Benin.
Yeah. Or at least it was with that group of people.
Benin is a group that sold Africans.
Yeah. Or the Homie Kingdom, the Homie, yeah.
So
the kingdom of what they call it.
It should make sense why Nigeria, which was Benin, has so much anger towards Black Americans. I mean, I don't know why it's just Black Americans. They should have anger towards the Caribbeans, the West Indies. Huh?
Why would they have anger towards them?
Because they were also the people that were sold too.
Who? No, I'm talking about why would the Nigerians have anger towards you?
Towards who?
Black Americans.
Because they sold you.
They were mad at you because they sold you?
Yeah. Well, something happened to them a long time ago.
Oh, yeah,
but that was a good thing that happened to them because it was meant to save. It was meant to save a group of people, and the Most High allowed it.
a certain tribe got sold, and a couple thousand years later, they sold them back, right?
But the way it was done was totally different.
Judah, I'm gonna leave it like that.
Just let it go. Let's just focus on the article.
A civil rights group in the United States has petitioned the United Kingdom's Charity Commission to reject the repatriation of looted Benin Bronzes to Nigeria because the West African nation also profited from slavery. According to the Telegraph, the petition from the New York-based restitution study group comes after the University of Oxford and Cambridge announced their intention to return the prized bronzes to Nigeria, but the artworks can only be returned after the Charity Commission gives the green light. British forces looted the artworks during the 1897 raid in Kingdom of Benin. The city is situated in what is now known as Nigeria. The restitution study group, which undertakes legal initiatives to have descendants of African slaves receive reparations, said it wants the bronzes to remain in the UK museums.
If Nigeria would have stayed Benin and not been named,
things would be looked at.
We were already. It would have been revealed
quickly
years ago why these people have so much anger towards you.
You had the Kingdom of Yehuda, which we know what that is. That was right there with the Kingdom of Dahomey, which became the Kingdom of Benin, which became Nigeria through colonialism. They became I want to say state, a country in what, 1960 something?
Yeah, they haven't been a country for that long.
Well, they became a country in like the early 1900s, but they became independent in 1960, should I say. So I guess you said they became a country in 1960 because they were a colony before that. But yeah, we asked that you reject any request to transfer them to Nigeria, the group wrote in a letter to the Charity Commission. The Kingdom of Benin through Nigeria would be unjustly enriched by repatriation of these relics. Black people do not support slave trade heirs just because they were black. Nigeria and Kingdom of Benin have never apologized for enslaving
and they never
ancestors.
Will. Not until the time comes.
We ask that you not approve the transfer of these relics. The Kingdom of Benin was involved in the slave trade before the city's ultimate collapse. European and American slave traders purchased enslaved people from the kingdom. The kingdom also used the earnings it received from the trade to make bronzes that were used to adorn in its royal palace. So they're saying the statues were made from the gold, or the, what's the word I'm looking for? What they gained from the selling of people, they use that to turn and create art from it. The bronze Benin artifacts, and now it got stolen because at some point when you stop getting them slaves, it's like, well, we're gonna just rob you. Then we're gonna take everything you got. Now they want what they made back. Now the question remains: can you prove that those particular artifacts were made through the selling of people? Did they not already do sales with gold and stuff?
We don't know.
When they do know.
But if we have a feeling that that's what they done, they don't deserve having back. Period.
So there was an argument, and I saw I guess there was a Nigerian, maybe they weren't Nigerian. They were like, well, this doesn't belong to it has nothing to do with African Americans from the standpoint of where it's located, because it's in the UK. But I understand why the person who got involved because slave trade. But he was like, this does not belong to the African Americans. It does not belong to the UK government. It belongs to the Nigerians. It's their property. It was stolen from them. This has nothing to do with the African Americans. They said it was purchased. It was property owned by somebody else, so it's theirs. So it don't matter how they got it. It's theirs. So give it back to them.
Who said that?
I think it was a Nigerian person. I can't be sure they were Nigerian. I just know they were defending the Nigerians getting it back.
If they're waiting on the okay for us to give it back to them, it's never gonna happen.
Nigeria has been calling on museums that have looted the bronzes to return them. This campaign has resulted in Oxford, Cambridge, and London's Horniman Museum deciding to repatriate the artworks. The Telegraph reported the Charity Commission must, however, approve their return. So you get the point.
Now Ghana came out and apologized for their role in the slave trade. They must be Togo. Because most of the time you get your ancestry test back, it'll say Benin and Togo. I noticed that they don't have Benin and Togo no more. They have, even when I did it, the Nigerian was really high. But then
are you still going by those fake tests?
I'm just saying what's on there. Oh, she's not in here today. She's off. She's at Clubhouse today. So I'm just saying the Nigerian was like 23, 26.
Yeah.
But when they updated it, it's like 5% or 6% now.
Yeah. Those tests
ain't really accurate, but I knew I wasn't Nigerian. I could just feel it. I was like, Nigerian. That's the land of the scammers, and
the group says that the
somebody gonna say the land of the snitches and lies.
The group said the artwork should be returned because museums in Nigeria would make a profit off items that were made with the earnings from the slave trade. Who was the group's leader, said that the bronzes should remain in Western museums as they would be more accessible to diasporic descendants of slaves. Farmer claimed that she would afford the education for the slave talk. So I get it.
This is narc.
Exactly. This is
narc.
Immediately when people saw this, they started talking about FBA ADOS. This has nothing to do with them.
That's narc. But they'll always go at ADOS and FBA.
This is the woman who did this. And this is her family. This has nothing to do with ADOS at all.
Look at that.
And these are the organizations that she worked with. Restitution for Study Group. This is her right here. Look. She worked with Guaranteed Partners. Restitution
and Cobra.
Group, and Cobra. Taller Studio. Racial Justice Coalition. I think that's Black Lives Matter, ain't it? Aren't they associated with Black Lives Matter?
I believe so.
Action Center, you got what is that?
Marijuana Justice.
So she has nothing to do with the ADOS FBA Freeman situation. Another part, this is another group she worked. Restitution Study Group announced its inaugural grantee and multi-million-dollar initiative for reparation advancement, the Case for Reparations Fund.
Yeah, and it's not just black people they're trying to help get reparations. It's natives and other people of color. Yeah, but it's coming out of New York, so.
Yeah, the Case of Reparations is the first of its kind funding initiative launched in March by 21 by the Decolonizing Wealth Project, aiming to fuel and amplify conversations and campaigns around reparations where wealth, money, or land can be redistributed by institutions and or governments to Black, Native American communities in the United States. The goal for Case for Reparations is to become a multi-year, multi-million-dollar initiative to support systemic and policy change efforts that return wealth to impact.
What reparations are left for Native Americans? The only reparation that could be given to them is get the fuck out of their country, or
country.
Well, I'm going by what
Yeah.
The Mongoloids believe. Get out of the gold people.
Yeah.
Get out of their country, or they take control over the country and form the new government where we have to go by their laws and policies.
Yeah.
That's the only reparation left for them.
What happened to that half of Oklahoma ruling? Didn't they get awarded?
They got over, supposedly.
Half of Oklahoma. Tulsa is a part of it, by the way.
Now, black people, there's 3 or 4 different reparations that's left for us. You got to pay us back for our labor.
Land.
In return for what you've done, they who leave in captivity must go back into captivity.
Those that kill with the sword must be killed with the sword.
So that's what's left for us. You do have to pay us.
Revelations.
But in return, you have to go into captivity. That's what's destined for you.
And see, that's when shit pop off.
See, Native Americans, you're not going into captivity for them.
Calls for reparations as U.S. faces UN race record review. U.S. officials insisted during the UN review Thursday that Washington was dedicated to battling racial discrimination amid mounting calls for reparations after centuries of systemic racism. So what happened is the UN is doing a review of America's race record.
Yeah.
So they going based off of when America existed or when this land was started getting colonized.
They start from
1619 or 1776.
1776.
They start 1776. So the U.S. government saying, look, we didn't put anybody in slavery. It was the British.
If we're going to be technical.
Hold on. Once we did the Revolutionary War and became our own country, we fought against racism and slavery.
Slavery was abolished when?
About
1860.
I'm going to let you sit there too.
1869? Is it 1869?
I'm going to keep laughing like I remember.
Because you don't know.
But listen, so they could say about 100 years later, around 100 years later, we got rid of it. So it existed for about 100 plus years, over 100 plus years before us. It existed after us, but we were less we were getting rid of at the time. We had what's the word? Abolitionists who came through and were pushing forth policy to get rid of it. So we were always battling it. We didn't never
1865.
1865. So we were battling it. I was about to say 1864. That was in my head. So they're saying we were battling it. So you can't accuse us of what we didn't start. Now, when the UN start talking about Jim Crow and redlining and the banking and at some point I got to do a video about 2008.
Prison incarceration.
At some point we got to do a video about a 2008 collapse and how that whole thing was on the back of older black people. How they had older black people refinancing their home.
We talked about that.
Knowing they didn't know what they was doing, calling them dumb monkeys and all that other stuff. Wall Street.
That's why they
God, boy, they the worst of the worst.
That's why they have to be.
Yeah.
That's why what's destined to happen to them must be fulfilled.
Yeah, we strive to ensure that every American is protected against the discrimination based on race, color, and national origin, said Desiree Corner Smith, the U.S. State Department Special Representative for Racial Equity and Justice. Speaking for the United Nations Committee for the Elimination of Racial Discrimination, she acknowledged that though we continue to grapple with the gap between our stated ideals and lived realities for African Americans and other minorities, Premier Smith was co-heading a large U.S. delegation participating in hearings on how Washington is upholding its international obligation to fight racial discriminations. The hearings, which began Thursday, will continue Friday, are addressing a raft of issues including racial profiling and police violence, and unequal access to education, housing, and healthy environment. The committee of 18 independent experts evaluate how countries adhere to international convention on eliminating all forms of racial discrimination, which the United States ratified in 1994. So you get it. Basically, they get put on the hot seat and they got to act like we've been doing better.
If they feel like they've been doing better.
There was a, I can't remember what year it was, and this is obviously an article from NARC. I can't remember what year it was, but America was I'm pretty sure it was a year where America was found to be liable for reparations when they did their review. So are they be found guilty again? Are they got to be found again? And they call it double jeopardy. You can't be found for something guilty again.
America's like, we can't be found guilty again for a crime we were already
committed.
Like
all right. Top reparations scholar Dr. Cindy Darity pleads with Nina Turner and Democrats to stop faulty debt cancellation math on wealth gap.
Nina, we were all rooting for you.
Nina Turner.
I had such high regards and such respect for Nina Turner up until about
a couple months ago.
No, about a year now.
When she didn't stand up against.
But she didn't. Well,
Bernie
first
Sanders
of all,
about reparations.
We can go back. The whole Bernie thing.
Yeah, the Bernie thing. Yeah.
That really, like, how you gonna be his campaign manager
and you ain't pushing?
And you're not
people that have your.
Because when you go on platforms by yourself, you pushing for reparations, but
you with him on stage,
it's like no, cancel debt for everybody so we can close the racial wealth gap. No, it's still not gonna close the racial wealth gap. No.
Renowned award-winning reparations scholar Sandy Darity is not happy with former Ohio State Senator Nina Turner touting statistics that says canceling $50,000 in student loan debt will help close the racial wealth gap. And he directly told her on Twitter, canceling just $50,000 of student debt per person would immediately increase Black Americans' wealth by 40%. It should all be canceled. Turner tweeted on Thursday, August 11th, along with a link to a Bloomberg article to support her plan.
But Nina, most Black people are not in
college,
not in debt for student debt.
Turner made
let's be honest. Black women.
Yeah, Black women.
If she's speaking for, they like to be. I'm not gonna say that.
No, she prefaced her tweet before said Black women. She said canceling student debt relief for Black women.
Yeah, because Black women, they are in debt.
Yeah,
because they are the ones. They make it known that they are college educated and are the highest. They're the highest educated group in the country, and what comes with that is debt.
Exactly. If you don't go into a field that you can profit from.
Oh, yeah.
So that language to agree ain't really.
But they are highly educated. They make that known.
You got therapists out here anyway.
You got therapists out here showing long
our favorite
no bras on, and
I favor student debt cancellation, but at best it would raise wealth only for Black folk holding student loan debt. Vast majority don't. and it will have virtually no impact on the racial wealth gap. Why do you keep repeating this dubious statistic?
But you know, black women like going into the field of social services and health and psychology. So maybe they really do feel that that's needed in the black community. The black man really needs some therapy.
Because I didn't want to get into that topic.
No, get into it.
For what? What's happening?
I'm just saying they do like to go into that choice of, work. So maybe they really feel like people need people in that area so they could be canceled, and held accountable in therapy sessions.
Okay, man. Here you go. But yeah,
hey, I always got the sisters back.
Basically, no, she won't. She committed to gaslighting the claim. He said, maybe she'll listen to you. I've given up. No, she won't. She's committed to gaslighting on this claim. Well, she's still into a narrative. She's a, what they call them, a neoliberal at this point. Even
don't talk about Nina like that.
She's supposed to be a progressive.
She's supposed to be a progressive. She went at Bernie. No, she went at Jimmy Dore last week about being anti-black, anti-black woman, and anti-what? It was a lot of antis that Jimmy Dore was doing last week.
A lot of shit going on. A lot of antis. A lot of.
But I had a back then too.
Oh, here you go. So I said 1868. LOL.
Listen, I got it right.
Hi, I'm new. What up, Black Rabbit? What up, bruh? That was horrible. And look at those old folks. No, older and still effing us up. Yeah. New at what? Everyone owes, including Africa. I did too. How far she falling? Wow, broke my heart. Yeah, man, falling. What up? Yeah. I mean, a politician is what it is. I look at politicians as politicians, but I was surprised at how she kind of 180 on a lot of stuff. Like, look, all I'm saying is the progressives, as they call themselves, supposed to believe.
Look at George.
What? Run that relief girl.
He gonna tell me he try. Whoa, so George, you worried about self? He's saying,
get mine.
Yeah, he's in 100K debt. George said, "Shut the fuck up."
They're doing better to get everyone reparations except for us, even though not asking. They go out of their way to give as long as the human color. Yeah, hold up, I got 100K debt relief. Travis, shut the fuck up. Run that relief. Uncle Joe ain't doing shit. Wow, that black girl magic. I'm back, and I'm a social service and psychology. Hook me up, Travis. Can you? A monkey. I'm so disappointed. I'm still cussing her out on Twitter. I'm still in denial. Black women are be rude and yikes. They need help. Most of them with their issues. With respect, I say that. Love and respect, brother. Say it with, or I'm sorry, I don't know if it's a brother, but say it with love and respect. Nina has made me so crazy because I thought she was a positive person. I was wrong.
I like Nina because when she would go on shows and be a commentator, she really seemed like she was for the black community.
Yeah.
She has a black husband.
Yeah.
She checked off the box.
Every box was
she checked. She pretty much is natural.
Yeah.
She checked off the box, but she just can't let go of that progressive shit.
I think it really collapsed when she lost to that girl. What's that woman name? The black woman who beat her in Ohio?
The celebrity? No, it wasn't celebrities that endorsed her. It was
Jewish people.
Yeah.
The reason why she lost.
Yeah, that person said she ain't running anymore. They endorsed her opponent.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Loki's I completely given up on politicians. She ain't running anymore. They endorsed her opponent. Yeah. That woman, I forgot her name. She got accepted into the Congressional Black Caucus. They just kind of put an arm around her. And of course, her first tweet
was about Jewish people.
Was about anti-Semitism and protecting Israel.
Yeah, it was about Jewish people.
I said, the first thing you tweet about is Israel. Well, I know how you won now.
She had the tiny hats backing her.
Hey, them tiny hats, boy. Tiny hats.
They like the shillings. They want to thin out the hood.
And she's still selling out. Why? Yeah, now she with TYT.
They told her, when things, start falling in America, you can come to big Israel.
I think what happened is when she lost that race, she realized the Democratic Party is never going to stand behind me. So look, I gotta live. I got a family. We gotta prepare.
So everybody for themselves.
And she pretty much, I think she kind of like, I'll talk this good shit still, but.
So you calling her fake?
They said it too, and she's still selling out. Like, I mean, it is what it is.
Talk about that black woman like that.
Hey man, it hurts. Catholic order pledges $100 million to benefit descendants of enslaved people. Is so. Now remember, this was last year. We talked about this. The Catholic Church came through with an investigation and said we have proven that we are a part of slavery. We sold slaves. We, all this other stuff. We are pledging with the Jesuits. We talked about the Jesuits before. They believe they can lie, steal, cheat, and anything to get the mission done. That is a fact.
They have a manifesto.
They agree to that. Look up the Jesuit order. They believe they are able to lie, cheat, steal, murder, anything to get they're pretty much the CIA of the Catholic Church. Their job is to go around the country, go around the world and usurp government sometime, but we'll get into that later. But they promised $100 million to the formerly enslaved, descendants of enslaved. What has happened since that? Oh, Catholic order struggles to raise $100 million to atone for slave labor.
How much they get so far?
I'm gonna read it. I want y'all
just
to
go to the part where they.
The build up is amazing. How they did all that talking. Oh, we're gonna do this. All right. Oh, I'm sorry, it's the wrong thing. Jesuits established a trust to answer for the history of enslaving black people, but frustrated descendants tell Rome the order is not delivering indeed. A prominent order of Catholic priests vowed last year to raise $100 million to atone for its participation in the American slave trade. They didn't say transatlantic slave trade. That means they only dealt with slaves in America?
It says American, slave, but you know what? The Caribbeans, they consider themselves as a part of America.
That's another thing that's popping up. How many people are saying, well, I'm South American, I'm Central American, we're American. But we know that American is now deemed United States of America. A person from Canada don't call themselves Canadian American. They don't call themselves American. They call themselves Canadian. Mexicans don't call themselves American. They call themselves Mexican. South Americans really don't call themselves South American. They call themselves...
It's also Central America.
Yeah, Central America. They don't call themselves Central American. They call themselves...
They call themselves by the country that they come from.
But now they're trying to claim an American title.
It's particularly the Caribbeans, though.
It is. Gotta be honest, it is.
It's Jamaicans, Trinidadians.
At the time, the church leaders and historians said it would be the largest effort by the Roman Catholic Church to make amends for the buying, selling, and enslaving of black people in the United States. But 16 months later, cash is only trickling in. The Jesuit priest leading this fundraising effort said he had hoped that the order would have secured several multi-million-dollar donations by now, in addition to the initial $15 million investment made by the order. Instead, only about $180,000 in small donations has flowed in to the trust the Jesuits created in partnership with a group of descendants whose ancestors were enslaved by the Catholic Church.
Now, did Europe have to raise money for the Holocaust victims, or did the government?
Governments do it.
They made governments pay out, right?
Yeah, governments did it. And Rome is its own. That's what they call it, a city state.
Yeah.
So it's not really a part of any country. It's kind of its own government. So like Washington D.C. is a city state.
Couldn't they just pay out of
London as well? It's a city state, which is funny because those are the head of the whole world. London is the financial, Washington is the military, and Rome is the spiritual.
Yeah. And America is the whore.
No, America is the military.
Well, yeah, the military.
Rome is the whore. Rome is the spiritual leader. That's why the Pope run everything. Why do you think the Pope? I know people say the reason why the Pope goes around the world because there's Catholics in every country.
The Pope is the.
But the Pope go to every country. He shake the hands of presidents. He goes around and meets all kind of people.
The Pope is the king.
That's the man in charge, the spiritual leader of the world. Washington D.C. is the military wing of the world, and London runs the financial system. But yeah, anyway, your small donations. Alarmed by the slow pace of fundraising, the leader of the group of descendants that has partnered with the Jesuits wrote to Rome earlier this month, urging the order's worldwide leader to ensure that the American priests make good on their promise. The American Jesuits, who relied on slave labor and slave sales for more than a century, had discussed plans last year to sell all of the remaining former plantation lands in Maryland. The priest said they discussing transferring the proceeds along with a portion of the proceeds of the earlier $57 million plantation sale to the trust. Money from the trust will flow into a foundation that will finance programs that benefit descendants, including scholarships and money for emergency needs and promote racial reconciliation projects. But the remaining land has yet to be sold, and the proceeds from prior land sales have yet to be transferred into the trust, Jesuit officials in the Senate say. It's becoming obvious that all To all who look beyond the words of Jesuits who are delivering delivering indeed, President and Chair of the Senate's Truth and Reconciliation Foundation wrote in the letter to the Reverend Arturo Sosa, the Jesuit Superior General, the bottom line is that without your engagement, the partnership seems destined to fail. So not everybody wants to be a part of it. So all the Jesuits ain't afford. The ones who not in America, like, we don't give a fuck. Fuck out of here with that bullshit. I ain't paying them a quota. I ain't paying them American quota. All right, California becomes the first state to break down black employee data by lineage.
But when they gonna do it?
Yeah.
Don't even put the article out if it's 2 years from now. Why put the article out? Put it out, a couple of months or a year before you're gonna do it. Don't.
Oh no. They always make sure they tell you years
I don't
in
like
advance.
it.
They tell you that all the time.
Don't give me 2 years in advance, because then I'm looking at you like, why can't you get this out now?
California is the first state to require its agency to present a separate demographic category for descendants of enslaved people when collecting state employee data. According to the recent signed law, the state comptroller office and Department of Human Resources can start collecting this information as soon as January 1st, 2024. This demographic category would include African Americans who are descendants of people who were enslaved in the United States, and black employees who are not descendants of people who were enslaved in the United States. When they separated the term African American and black employees. So African American is the ethnicity now, not black, it's African American. That's the ethnicity that they're given to what they would call FBA ADOS.
But we don't want to be called African Americans.
You don't.
Do you want to be called African American?
Some people do.
Do you want to be called African American?
I don't care, because I don't care about none of these titles.
You don't care?
None of them. The data collected will be included in the public state report on or after January 1st, 2025. So it's going to be 1 year of collecting data from 2024 to 2025.
So they're taking black away from...
I don't know. This is how they worded it here. African American who are descendants of people.
Oh, they're saying, see, now they can't be the gatekeepers of black because on the census
they're African American.
African Americans and we're black.
Well, I don't think they're gonna do that. They're probably gonna have them like Jamaican.
Well,
American,
yeah, they
Haitian.
have to.
Yeah,
because that wouldn't make sense to do that because you got to know all different types of blacks.
We were talking about opioids earlier and how that's kind of trickled down into a whole trafficking, really. CVS, Walgreens, and Walmart ordered to pay $650 million to Ohio counties in opioid case. So not only did they sue the pharmacies or the pharmaceutical companies, now they're going after the stores.
So who they paying? What to millions to Ohio counties? So is this the mayors, the government, the people?
They give the money to the city. Yeah, the city. The city is basically saying you cost us money with the crime we got to deal with because of the meth. People ODing in the streets. Our police officers are forced to work over.
So when is the CIA gonna pay for the crack epidemic?
Reagan whole family and whole line need to got for that. But
when is that debt gonna be paid?
Oh, they ignore it. They act like they really act like the 80s didn't happen. Like
80s.
I'm talking about the start of when you had the heroin thing back in that was Harlem though, and they kind of hit.
No, we just gonna go with the crack. 80s, just 80s.
We can go with heroin too.
When did the crack epidemic end?
It never ended. I mean, ain't too many new crackheads. Ain't too many.
Too many new.
Ain't too many new. It's a couple.
Millenniums. Ain't
too many new. Most of the people now on the pills or stuff like that. It's a handful that go to the crack cocaine, the crop.
That rock.
You said it right. That's it. That rock.
It's the rock.
Oh, the glass.
We're not gonna say you on crack. We're gonna say you on that shit.
Yeah. Niggas are like, you on crack. What you say to me? Niggas get mad.
I said you was on that shit.
Yeah, you gotta say it like that. Federal judge, so basically got paid $650 million over 15 years to two Ohio counties after the jury found them liable for contributing to the opioid pandemic. Same thing happened in California. A group
California.
I skipped it, didn't I? I don't have it up here. California, San Francisco in particular. San Francisco also has they won a case against CVS and Walgreens for a couple $100 million. I think it was $800 million for them. Maybe it was less. They won a case in San Francisco as well in California. So it is what it is. This group wiped out $6.7 billion in medical debt, and it's just getting started. So basically, these people, not these people, but two people who used to be debt collectors, changed their mind and decided to help people get out of debt. So they go through and buy the debt bonds that people have, and then they don't sell them. And they say that you can get rid of $100 worth of debt for $1. So why is anybody? This is crazy. Soon after giving birth to her daughter, this is the story that they have. I'm going to jump down. RIP Medical Debt Does. The nonprofit has boomed during the pandemic, freeing patrons of medical debt, thousands of people at a time. Its novel approach involves buying bundles of delinquent hospital bills, debts incurred by low-income patients like Logan, and then simply erasing the obligation to pay them. It's a model developed by two former debt collectors, Craig and Jerry, who built their careers chasing down patients who couldn't afford the bills. What triggered a change of heart? What you say?
You remember that article we had 2 weeks ago about the hospitals going?
Yeah, going after the family members.
No, it was the senior.
Home. Yeah, retirement homes.
They were going after the friends and family members for debt that the seniors owed, and so they was like, "What?"
The older person who lived in a senior home passes away, in the senior home they go after the friends and family to pay the debt.
The only way you can go after them is if you were, if they were over their finances.
And they were like, I had nothing to do with their finances. Why am I being? They want their money.
Well, you know them. They were like, you know them. Didn't you love them when they was here?
You can pay his debt. Don't let them. How they said, don't let them croak, owing money and shit. Don't let them go out like that. But in a model developed by two former debt collectors, Craig and Jerry, who built their careers what triggered a change of heart for Austin was meeting activists from the Occupy Wall Street movement in 2011 who talked to him about how to help relieve Americans' debt burden as a bill collector, collecting millions of dollars in medical associated bills in my career. Now all of a sudden I'm reformed. I'm a predatory giver. After giving So basically, yeah. You see here, RRP buys the debts just like any other collection company would, except instead of trying to profit, they send out notices to consumers saying that their debt has been cleared. To date, RRP has purchased $6.7 billion in unpaid debt and relieved 3.6 million people of debt. The group says retiring $100 in debt costs an average of $1. This country is built on debt, though. So you got to remember, this country, the whole money system they got is built on people being in debt. We've talked about that. And you defended it.
I'm not going to engage with this, so move on to the next subject. He
defended being in debt in this country.
Second segment.
You go, now you don't want to talk about it. Okay. All right, let me see if y'all saying something.
So
the progressive caucus voting for you, but you know they still let it go. Yeah, we got to find another way. Yeah, that is chump change. That ain't enough, is it, George?
Donna Brazili.
Brazil, yeah, it's a Donna Brazil. Donna Brazil. The Jesuits are the real life Templars, exactly. Well, the Templars were kind of it's a long story. American Dingleberry. That's like when the government promised HBCUs like $100 million. Then when it was time to give the money, they included minorities for the grant, and HBCUs got a fraction of promised money set aside for them. Exactly. They included Native American. I didn't even know there were colleges for just Native Americans.
I didn't know either.
There's colleges for just apparently there's colleges for just Mexicans.
Where are they? Because you know what, niggas need to start going to their colleges. They HBCUs.
I think there's an HBCU in Texas that's majority white.
Well, the Native Americans, their colleges are probably on their reservations.
Yeah, probably. Well, would that mean they will be outside of the government?
Well, the casinos are not outside. The casinos are well in places where they can make some money.
They let them make. This is our reparations. You can own a casino. All right.
Well, they make a lot of money in that.
Yeah.
The Native Americans say shut your mouth, mind business.
Yeah, laundering money too. Yeah. If you're talking about the Jesuits, yeah, they deep into that. The Pope is the main pimp. Pope run everything. Pope run it all. They made HBCUs beg for chump change, then got their policy think massive for giving money away to others that was originally supposed to go to HBCUs only. I remember when every year HBCU HBCU president got to go to the White House and do a photo shoot. And Trump said, look, man, here's a bill I'm passing. Every year is annual. You ain't got to come up here.
We said that last video.
I know. But now Biden comes back and said, oh, look at all this money I'm giving you. It's like, that's money that's already promised.
Yeah.
Just lying.
Well, it's just a, what they call it? It's a photo op.
Exactly. Stop molesting kids, Catholic Church.
Dude, come on, man.
What? You don't want to read all these comments?
Read the comments.
I am. You said, come on, man. Do what we're good. Oh yeah. Those institutions are stealing reparations. HBCUs and NAACP, all those black institutions. NAACP was started by the Tiny Hats. A lot of HBCUs were started by white people. So
yeah, Spelman, Morehouse, those are named after white people.
Those are named by white people, so you can't even. It is what it is. We're in the trick bag. I haven't found it yet. Where's the trick bag? I haven't found it yet.
I'm a Freeman.
I'm Freeman. All right, what up? Wait 1 year exactly. You need 1 year to get this data. I listen to simps like Roland Martin ask for our money every day in the name of HBCUs.
Terrible.
More money, more getting wasted. Never ended. Roland always got his hand down. What part of NC are you guys originally from? What can you say? Incognito. Are we from Hope County, as you say, or that's what it'll be?
We're from
it'll be west of Fayetteville, North Carolina, and south of Charlotte.
South of Charlotte, west of Fayetteville. Underneath us is Scotland County.
Or instead of saying Fayetteville, I say Cumberland County.
Well,
we're west of Cumberland County, right beside it.
The proper name is Fayetteville.
Fayetteville.
It's not Fayetteville. It's Fayetteville.
Vietnam.
And the town, they call it Rayford, but it's really called Rafford.
It's Rayford. But Fayetteville. Whole county. We're not doing all this.
Okay. We can stick to, Ebonics.
Oh, Ebonics now. Wow. Oh. They better stay safe and the state doesn't like real charity. Oh, yeah. Shout out to them, though. Yeah. They did a little bit of good with themselves, I guess. Yep. I guess. What is Paxlovid mouth? It's how you say it, right? Paxlovid? Paxlovid? Paxlovid. Mouth is and how to get rid of it.
Paxlovid.
I
think it's Paxlovid.
I think that's it. All right.
We can't really comment. Just let the video play.
What video?
I thought it was a video with this. Ain't no video with this.
Oh, it's just an article.
Oh, okay.
Pfizer got.
So you gonna read out loud what they saying that it actually is?
Yeah, it's a nasty taste in your mouth.
Well, where did the nasty taste come from?
Just wait. I'm not gonna say it out loud. You good?
Listen, we got 2 weeks to make it out of this thing.
Oh, I forgot.
2 weeks.
I forgot? Yeah, September 3rd is when we can we get a.
When we can go ham again.
Yeah, because right now we really got we got 2 strikes. We get one more.
And it's bye-bye.
Yeah.
For good.
Yeah, so Pfizer go-to antiviral drug treatment, Paxlovid, is leaving a bad taste in people's mouth, literally. The Pfizer antiviral medication is used to treat people infected with COVID-19, but as some patients have noted, the drug's nasty taste remains in your mouth for as long as you can take it. For as long as you take it.
So they have, what's that disease where your breath stink? Halitosis. Your breath stink, smell like ass.
It just tastes bad.
What, halitosis?
No, this.
Oh. If it tastes bad, how can it not smell bad? How your breath gonna taste like ass, but it don't smell like ass?
They ain't say ass, did they? They said patients who have taken the drug, which lowers the risk of severe reaction to the deadly disease, describe an unpleasant aftertaste as a mouthful of dirty panties and rotten soy milk.
Rotten soy milk?
Luckily, many
sound like ass to me.
Luckily, many of those affected have exchanged their coping methods online, such as consuming copious amounts of cinnamon, wolfing down pineapple, or chugging smoothies, all to ease a taste that won't quit.
Oh, when Regina found out that Rayford is right outside of a military base, Fort Bragg, they're gonna be like, they MK Ultra.
I'm just gonna get this out of the way. Rayford is Rayford is literally like down the street, right on top of a
military base, the biggest military base in the United States, Fort Bragg.
Yeah. We grew up next to we talk all this shit and we grew up next to
we be calling these people out who come from military. We don't come from, our mother and father were not in the military.
No. But we grew up right next to one.
We grew up right next to one. Matter of fact, we live right next to a Native American reservation. We used to see Indians on horses all the time. Not the real ones, the fake ones.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just had to get that out there because she gonna see that we live right next to Fort Bragg.
Under 6% of patients have reported a case for Paxlovid mouth, according to the data. Pfizer has acknowledged that side effect caused. I'm not even trying to say that.
Where is it at?
Dysgeusia. Dysgeusia.
I think you got it right.
It don't really matter. The bad aftertaste is likely to thanks to rohypnol, part of a drug that is used to boost levels of antiviral medicines, according to Wall Street journals. I'm gonna need y'all to look this word.
But listen,
right
this
here
is crazy. You know how they say if women eat pineapple, it'll make their area down there. They eating pineapple to make their mouth taste better.
Now you see that? That's what's giving them a bad taste in their mouth.
Read it there. Read underneath. Highlight it for them. Oh, zoom in.
That's what it is. It's an antiviral for that, and it's giving them a bad taste in their mouth.
That's all we can say.
But bro, it's so much I want to say.
We can't. But after September 3rd,
we still can't say it. We'll get another strike. The point of the matter
but we only be gone for a week.
No, 2. We got 2 strikes. Then we'll be back at 2 strikes.
No, it cancels out. After September 3rd, the strikes go away. You start over.
I know, but we still have another one.
What other one?
Away November something.
Damn. Okay. So y'all ain't gonna be getting nothing for a while.
One patient, 35-year-old Lisa Crawford, told her, I don't even read all that. So I wanted to show just this right here. And that's what's giving them a bad taste. But they're using that as an antiviral for COVID-19. That's enough.
Come to your own conclusions. You know, we don't want to be brainwashing you on here.
Yeah, we don't want to brainwash you. Think for yourself. CNN's Lena
Speak for yourself, bub.
Lena Wynn. The unvaccinated should not be allowed to leave their homes. Remember when she said this last year?
She was going in.
Exactly.
And the crazy part is she's Asian, and we know where
she from,
where it allegedly may have come from. The president of the United States had to even referencing any connection to that place where she came from.
Hold on.
So it was crazy. She was telling us that we need to get vaccinated or stay in the house.
It's like, ooh, we know where you from. You have an option to not get vaccinated if you want, said the doctor, but then you can't go in public. So that's what she said. Now look what she's saying now, because the narrative is changing. They're trying to open their things back up. They've been trying to get people to acknowledge that things need to be opened up for the past 3-4 months.
We know why.
But people are slow to do it because they're like, no, you scare these people so much that.
Well, no, we know why they're trying to get them all back in areas, because they're trying to get something else out there to get exposure on people. You can't get it if you're in the house.
Let's see what she said. She said, though CDC has aligned COVID guidance to meet where most Americans are, there are some who promote continued restrictions. Now, this is the woman who was don't come out of your house if you're not vaccinated. That's what she was that's what she was putting out there. Are they consistent themselves, always masking indoors, for going indoor events, dining, etc.? If not, hypocrisy fuels further distrust in public health. So they told me for 2 years.
3.
Ought to be 3, yeah. Everything the CDC says, go through with it. Now the CDC has changed the rules, and the same people who told me to agree with the CDC is not saying you ain't got to agree with this. They're saying everything cool.
I can't wait till they switch it back up.
So now the woman who was telling people to be on lockdown is telling the people who want to stay on lockdown that they're hypocrites because they're not wearing a mask and all doing all this other stuff. And the reason why she's saying that is because she knows she's not doing it. I mean, we saw what the politicians was doing. You had
they had parties.
Stacey Abrams in a classroom full of elementary school students. The kids had on masks. She didn't.
That's the elite mindset.
And the politicians had their dinners. None of the politicians had on masks.
Obama had a party.
Did. Yeah, Obama.
Erica Badu put a picture out of nobody that.
Obama got a house he building in Hawaii. All the workers weren't wearing masks. He wasn't. So we know what it's really about. It's a class situation. Let me show this now. The new COVID variant is shaping up to be a deja vu nightmare. A familiar mutation may give the COVID strain the edge it needs to wreak havoc. Oh, shit. What the? Oh, that's how y'all gonna do me.
I ain't done that all this whole time. It ain't done that.
All of a sudden, that's not what I wanted. What the hell? Okay, I thought, never mind. But the point is they got a new variant coming out. So while there's apparently a new variant coming that could possibly get around people's immune system, they also making less restrictions happen in the public with the CDC. So what is this about?
You know what it's about. They trying to, you know what they trying to do.
All right, let me
a lot of plagues.
You rebound on that and you'll get sick twice. We're good. Don't take anything experimental. They're lying to us. They are unqualified and carrying knives. Oh boy, we can go into that. But Germany, you're not even allowed to say that word. Because the Germans were saying that when the lockdowns and stuff was happening. The German citizens were saying this is da-da-da-da.
No, because the tiny hats are going to come out and say...
No. In Germany, it's illegal.
Oh.
To have any paraphernalia that look like it, to say the word, anything. They banned. So the reason why they couldn't say the stuff is because they were literally getting arrested for it. Oh, yeah, we got to show this right here. So, all right. I'm not going to show this whole thing.
Just go to the part where
I know the parts it is. I just need the first 2 minutes of this, 5 minutes, and then 7 minutes. Oh, shit. Hold on. You hear anything? Oh, I'm sorry.
Confusing and shifting public health guidance and a slow release of critical data. That from CDC Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky after an internal review and amid concerns about the agency's ability to tackle monkeypox and the reemergence of polio.
Our public health infrastructure in the country was not up to the task of handling this pandemic. We made some pretty public mistakes, and we need to own them.
And joining me now is Dr. Anthony Fauci, Chief Medical Advisor to President Biden and Director of the National Institutes of...
So now you got the CDC coming out and saying we made mistakes. So they're saying they made mistakes during...
they're human. They're allowed to make mistakes.
Yeah, okay.
Not when it comes to health.
Allergy and infectious diseases. Dr. Fauci, thank you so much for being with us.
Good to be with you. Thank you for having me.
Well, I want to ask you first about a sister agency, the CDC. I know you're loath to criticize other agencies, but they have been so self-critical. Dr. Walensky, in an extraordinary statement, a scathing report that she herself commissioned, saying that from top to bottom there are really major changes. Is the agency up to those kinds of changes?
I believe so, and I think they should be commended in the fact, particularly Dr. Walensky, realizing and recognizing the shortcomings that have been there for quite a long time, long antedating Dr. Walensky's tenure.
So the leader
of the World
FDA, World Health Organization.
It's the WHO. World Health.
No. He's not part of WHO. It's the FDA, ain't it?
No, he's part of the World
Health Organization.
Health Organization.
Okay, I'm sorry.
The WHO.
Yeah. I don't think so. It's that Indian dude that lead that. He's I'm sorry. It's so much stuff I got in my head. I can't remember what part of these people they aligned to. But anyway, he came out. He knew, according to him, that the CDC wasn't really being run correctly. And even though he knew this for 2-3 years, he still told you to follow everything they said to do. Once again, this is crazy. And they admit this stuff. And when people have the sense to point out what they're really saying when they say this, then other people will defend them for no reason.
And I think it was the stress and the challenge of a historic pandemic that brought some of those deficiencies into sharp relief. So I believe we should commend them for realizing that, particularly Dr. Walensky. There are very, very good people at the CDC. There was an issue with the culture of how they approach their responsibility as a public health agency that I think has now been recognized. So I'm actually optimistic that given the fact that the fixed pretty quickly, we have a problem of people wanting to get vaccinated, Andrea, much more so than people who want to get vaccinated who don't have.
He's part of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious
NIH.
Diseases.
Yeah, NIH, yeah.
Yeah.
NSI, yep.
NIH.
NIH, yeah.
Head. Idiot.
All right. So right here, he's saying, the woman asked him, do they have enough shots for people to take? He said, yes, we have enough shots, but we don't have enough people that want to take them.
Pretty quickly. We have a problem of people wanting to get vaccinated, Andrea, much more so than people who want to get vaccinated who don't have access to it. So what we need to do is we need to get people to appreciate the importance of not only getting vaccinated, but by keeping their boosters up to date, because the data that show the difference in severity of disease between the unvaccinated and the unvaccinated and vaccinated with boost is dramatically different. So that's what we need to do. It's not a question of accessibility. It's a question of getting people to be vaccinated with vaccines that are available.
And how concerned?
Well, what we need to understand is that the polio that we saw in this individual.
Now, this is him talking about the guy in New York who was found with polio, who's paralyzed because of the polio.
Individual in Rockland County who had paralytic polio is a vaccine-related polio. And
what?
In this individual in Rockland County who had paralytic polio is a vaccine-related polio. And let me explain what I mean is that the original Sabin vaccine, which is a live attenuated vaccine, has in it multiple different types of the polio. One is a type 2, which is a virus that when you vaccinate someone with a live attenuated vaccine, it can be excreted in the feces and get out into the environment.
Now, what did we talk about was going on when they said that they was finding it in feces and sewer systems? Something similar is also happening in what was it, Mississippi, Alabama?
Yes, it was in the soil.
Exactly.
Some type of new disease that had to do something with soil or something.
So why are these diseases popping up the last 2 or 3 years? Didn't you say they found the plague in Arizona or something like that?
They found the Black Plague in Colorado.
Yeah.
That was like 2 years ago.
Well, what the hell is going on? They finding the Black Plague, polio. What's that thing in China? Yangya?
Like something. There's something there too.
And it could revert to a more pathogenic form. So what happened with this individual is that they likely got infected from someone who had a vaccine-related polio. Now, the vaccines that
gotta reach 100%.
Moderna CEO says that they're throwing away 30 million COVID shots because no one anywhere in the world will take them.
These into the garbage because nobody wants them. We have a big demand problem. We right now have governments. We try to contact not only SEF, who is doing great work with his team trying to get demand into the countries, but also we contacted through the the embassies in Washington, every country, and nobody wants to take them.
Because they're taking the other one, the Pfizer. So Pfizer had pretty much privatized the COVID vaccine.
They got rid of Johnson & Johnson first.
Yeah, first.
The one jab.
Now the CDC came out and said, yeah, we don't recommend the Johnson & Johnson, too many injuries. And Johnson & Johnson, like, we actually take pride in our vaccine. We have not let any injury. But see, they're the only one that is not mRNA. So now Moderna is saying nobody want our vaccines no more. We don't. So I wonder who's controlling that.
Somebody's like, don't. They
buy
want to get it down to one.
Because
it's easier to control one than it is to have 3 different types going out.
Now look at this right here. Monkeypox vaccine maker urged to put people before profit and stop gatekeeping jab. The world's only monkeypox vaccine maker must stop gatekeeping the jab or else the virus could become endemic, advocates have warned.
Well, that's what y'all want it to be.
Dutch drug company Bavarian Nordic. Now, oh my God. We talked about Bavarian Nordic. I can't even, I think that video might got his head. We did, okay. I think it might have been episode. It's one of our episodes, I think it's in the 20s or 30s, where we talked about monkeypox. And we brought up Bavarian Nordic. They're the company that make monkeypox. They brought the monkeypox vaccine to, they started making it, I can't remember the year, 2018, 2019?
I think it was 2018.
I can't remember. It's, if you go back to that episode, if you type in our name in monkeypox, it should be an episode. I can't remember what number it is. But yeah, it is crazy. It's a sole supplier of the smallpox vaccine being used against monkeypox. Since the monkeypox outbreak began, wealthier countries have gobbled up Bavarian Nordic supplies, spreading inequalities and distribution in much the same ways they did for COVID-19 pandemic. Campaign group Global Justice Now has warned. The company has already sold its entire stockpile of a ready-to-go vaccines, and it can't make any more until 2023.
Damn.
So wait,
what's coming in?
So it was already pre-made. They done sold all that, and they can't even make no more until 2023.
So what are the people supposed to do?
Exactly.
So we did another video explaining the breakdown. It was a scenario, just like the COVID scenario.
The same people, Event 12, with people who the people who did the simulation of the Event 201, who predicted the COVID pandemic in 2019, they also predicted the monkeypox pandemic and what's supposed to happen between 2022 and 2024.
Now, the black dude at McDonald's, his monkeypox looks a little different.
There was a video. You gotta explain. There's a video on TikTok of a black dude who had monkeypox driving around in.
He went to McDonald's.
Yeah, he went to McDonald's and got him something to eat, I guess, and he came
drive through.
Yeah, he recorded himself, and people were going in on him like, "How are you driving around in public with a monkeypox?" And he basically in the video said, "Hey man, you can get it from anybody." Yeah, people were saying, "You got monkeypox, that means
you've been digging in pussy."
And he was defending himself like, "No, you can get it from anybody. You can just get it walking around."
Which is, that's what I said it was going to eventually be, because they already said that it can be on blankets. Because we told our dad, don't get no. Yeah,
he went to the on vacation, and it's like you need to be careful with those towels and stuff. So
don't even go. That's pretty much what I said. Don't go.
Yeah, the company has already, so that in a letter to Bavarian Nordic, Global Justice Now joined Just Treatment and Stop AIDS in calling on the drug maker to share its vaccine manufacturing method with the world. I'm not even gonna point out who just said that. The two people they're working with. I keep saying this same thing pop up, but I can't say it. All right. Monkeypox clinic slammed for making people sign sexual history paperwork before getting vaccine.
Why not?
Apparently they.
Well, hold on. They're gonna be discriminating against the people who are not. That's why they want to know your sexual history.
Yeah, apparently they're saying that there was a place that was on weren't asking straight men how many partners they've had in the past, however much time. There was one person. It was a social media post, and the person said they asked a homosexual person how many partners they've had in the past week, and they said 10.
More.
And it was like, what the hell?
That's not even one person a day. That was what, twice on Sunday, then twice on Saturday.
Twice, 3 times.
Most promiscuous group.
Yeah, a clinic of Seattle, Washington. A clinic in Seattle, Washington has criticized for reportedly making people disclose their sexual history before receiving the monkeypox vaccine. A report with KUOW Public.
So are they holding him accountable?
Who?
The clinic. If they're saying you're just out here willingly doing this and
I think they're just asking them. Oh. They ain't doing anything about it. In Seattle, found that some vaccine recipients in King County Sexual Health Clinic are being asked to disclose details about their sexual lives in order to determine eligibility for the vaccine. So you might be right.
They holding you accountable.
If you're doing too much, they ain't giving it to you. A local LGBTQ advocate, however, said that they could create another barrier for those wanting the vaccine who could be uncomfortable disclosing these details. Since the outbreak began, monkeypox has been detected mostly among gay and bisexual men and other men who have sex with men. What? You just said the same thing 3 times. gay, bisexual, and have sex with other men.
Listen,
okay.
they say me, they. So that's for the
I'm
me.
sorry, I forgot. They said men have sex with other men could be men who were raped, apparently. So I guess that's prison, and even on outside, obviously. Many countries, including the UK and the US, have promised high-risk communities, including LGBT men, have prioritized, high-risk communities, including LGBT plus men and those who work at sexual health clinics for vaccination. We can't.
Look like this come to the end of the road.
Monkeypox, White House to target Pride events with extra vaccines and major strategies.
Now, you know what?
Overall.
Now, that's amazing how they could tell you during the pandemic, well, they say we're still in a pandemic.
Yeah.
You can't go outside. You have to quarantine. But for them,
we're going to just come to you with it.
We know that you're going to be out here.
Doing what you're doing. So let's just go ahead and.
So we're going to have them on hand when you're done here.
I haven't got to read that. That says everything.
That says everything y'all need to know.
Florida man tackled to the ground after walking into LGBTQ bar with a grenade.
I tell you, he's saying y'all the problem. Y'all gonna spread this to other communities, and I'm gonna take you out before it happened. That's why he went in there.
On Tuesday, an unarmed individual walked into the club pub along with North Andrews Avenue, and placed a grenade on the bar counter. Damn. Startling surveillance footage showed. It showed me a grenade. He said, "Don't be scared. It's kind of freaked me out a little bit." Bartender Joseph Shakespeare told South Florida television station. I was thinking, stay calm because he have a lot of people in there, and it was our communities, and this is our community, so I want to keep everybody safe. The man claimed to have guns in the car, but a bar regular and former Marine Darrell Darling overheard the two speaking. He had shown me a grenade immediately as I walked up. It looked real. Adding that the man was agitated at somebody in the bar looking to pick a fight. Oh, so he was there. They saying because he was just mad with somebody.
Oh, it was a lover's quarrel?
I don't know.
So he was over that one person. He was willing to take everybody out.
Now, this is a story you brought up. Mother who questioned 12-year-old daughter's gender transition loses custody battle.
This is crazy. Like, so the mother does not agree with, I guess, the daughter transitioning into a little boy. And so the father is now with a psychologist, and she believes that the psychologist has some influence on why this has happened to her. So that the courts literally said, we're taking custody of your daughter and giving it to the father because you are not letting this child pretty much fulfill her thing of wanting to transition. So now if you have a kid and you don't agree with their lifestyle and you got a 12-year-old and they say, I want to be a little girl, and you say, no, you ain't being no damn little girl.
Custody, they take custody
and they're just like, well, I'm just going to go to CPS and they just come in and
take it.
I'll be like, okay, then take his ass. Or take her ass. Take him.
Damn. Cold with it, ain't
you? That's what you got to be. You don't want to abide by what's going on in my house and what I follow and say, and you want to be in that lifestyle and I don't agree with it, then take his ass. Or take her ass. Ain't no discussion. No lost feelings here.
All right. Let me go ahead and go here. All right. Population control. How are they still letting this ass whip talk about anything he messed up? HIV stuff. Yeah. They have a video from a long ago explaining the origins of HIV, and a lot of this stuff seems fitting into the studies of this. Yeah. But we're not allowed to say it though. We're forced to act like we don't see.
Well, you could say it now, but later on when they put, start putting monkeypox in, the definition and the misinformation tags on the video.
Yeah.
They're going to go back to this video, review it, and say, hey, they were giving out misinformation on this video, and we don't want people to see it now.
Let's fight them a year later.
Yep. They ain't smart. See, you got to be ahead of the curve because they be switching up on you. Uh-huh. George.
I think he gone. All right. Judge rules Twitter must turn over hidden documents to Elon Musk revealing the fake accounts on platform. A judge on Monday ruled that Twitter must turn over documents. Twitter needs to give Elon Musk documents for former Twitter executive who Musk said was a key figure in calculating this amount of fake accounts in the platform. Bot and spam accounts on Twitter have become a central issue in a legal fight over whether Musk, who is Tesla's chief executive, must complete his $44 billion acquisition of social media company. Twitter was ordered to collect, review, and produce documents from former general manager of consumer product Kevin Bakepour, according to order of Chancellor Kathleen McKemrick of the Delaware County of Chancellor. So we'll see what he releases from this, or what they give him at least. We'll see. Treasury Department rejects GOP claims on a new IRS agents. So GOP is saying that they hiring 87,000 people to go after the middleman, the little man, the middle class, the working class,
and the
lower
small
class
business
owners.
Yeah, they going after everybody except for
probably the wealthy.
The wealthy.
The Internal Revenue Service did not plan to use the nearly $80 billion it is set to receive in funding for the Inflation Reduction Act to hire 87,000 new agents in order to target middle class Americans. A Treasury Department official told ABC News and Documents Verify, rejecting a claim widely circulated by Republican lawmakers and right-wing media personalities. A sizable portion of the money will go toward improving taxpayer services and modernizing antiquated paper-based IRS operations. According to Treasury and IRS, in the effort to update an agency well documented as being chronically starved of resources for decades. In a letter to IRS Commissioner Charles Rettig, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen said that the agency also is planning on hiring auditors who can enforce the tax laws against high-income Americans and corporations, not the middle class, along with employees to provide customer service to taxpayers. The majority of the hires will fill the position of about 50,000 IRS employees on the verge of retirement, which will net about 20 to 30,000 workers, not 87,000.
Somebody lying.
Somebody lying. Don't gotta go through all that. I'm just gonna go show this. Remember,
your voice just turned to a New Yorker?
What? What's the amount?
He said, I don't have to go through all that.
No. I read the job description for the IRS officer, and it said you have to be willing. Now it says you have to be willing to be a part of dangerous situations, circumstances, work under dangerous circumstances. But before it said you had to be willing to shoot and kill.
Sound like police officers.
Now, look what they walk. This is IRS. You're going to see the IRS symbol on them.
With police.
And they got police on it.
This is a graduation day, right?
I know a pig when I see a pig.
Huh?
I know a pig when I see a pig.
Alright, so we'll take it along the wall and line up on the wall, okay? Right there's good. You can do your line up there, whoever's going first.
Well, somebody got the body of a police officer.
Alright, you guys got everybody here? Alright, you all ready? Guns out.
You said what?
I said somebody already got the body of a police officer eating donuts.
Alright, whenever you guys are ready, you can go.
Now this is IRS.
Are those immigrants? Are they gonna make the immigrants the IRS?
Well, you know the IRS, if I'm not mistaken, own the most bullets. They own a billion bullets, if I'm not mistaken. So they're bringing in the migrants, training their ass to shoot your ass in your own country.
In your own country. Oh, but they got it down.
Police, federal agent!
Freeze! Put your hands up.
Put your hands up.
Got an arrest for you.
Where's that example?
Now, at what point would the IRS need to send people with guns to you? Shouldn't they just send law enforcement?
Well, they are law enforcement.
That's my point. Like you made a point earlier. Are they now their own military? Are they like the National Guard?
Yeah, they're their own branch of
military.
Law
So
enforcement.
you owe some taxes. They gonna come kick your door down. IRS, open the door. It used to be, IRS would hit your pockets. They'd be on your bank account, freezing your accounts. Now they're gonna send you out.
They want to put a hot round in you.
They want to shoot you.
Everybody want to shoot you.
It's crazy.
They don't know. Nobody talks no more.
But you get the point.
No more talking.
So now they're training them to prepare for the worst.
They gonna get you as soon as you make that direct deposit.
Oh, there it goes. oil heirs are now donating to radical climate chaos. Now, this is really what the fossil fuel thing is about.
All the new shows that are coming out about climate change.
Shows. Even that show, Man Who Fell to Earth.
Yeah.
That's what all these shows is about. So I'm not surprised by this. Look at this one. Mexico plans to become the export hub with U.S. drilled natural gas.
But Mexico doesn't have natural gas.
You mean Mexico? So where they gonna get it from?
The United States.
But in America, you can't start a natural gas refinery here. There's so many legalities you have to go against.
So we'll put it in Mexico.
So the people who in America are going to purchase places in Mexico to start their national gas so they can ship it off to Europe because they scared Russia's going. Well, they want Russia to cut the gas off to Europe so they can get that market
to them and also hurt Russia.
Yeah, because Russia making money right now because of the oil. And
not very
gas.
long.
So
they planning on getting rid of them.
So that's going to be millions of jobs in Mexico.
But no millions of jobs here.
Not in America.
So will they stay in their country? Are they going to go back? Are they going to repatriate back to Mexico because now they have jobs?
They might. Target's earning takes a huge hit as retailers sell off unwanted inventory. So basically, Target, they have all this extra stuff.
Didn't Mexico say they're getting an influx of American citizens moving there? So are Americans now going to be moving to Mexico to get a job?
Americans are moving to Europe and they're moving to
Mexico. Because they're saying the taco places are turning into Pilates and Starbucks. And
the language. Remember they said the language, everything turned to English? And think about it for a second, how crazy that is. In America, they're changing the language from English to Spanish in a lot of places where a lot of Mexican people are. But in Mexico,
we're going to use the term Hispanics or Latino.
It's turning to English, and they're complaining about it, saying you're poison to the country.
What are they?
Who?
What are they when they come here? Are they a poison?
But yeah, Target has a lot of extra inventory of stuff people don't care to buy right now, like furniture and all that stuff. Target lost 90%. They lost 90% in sales.
I can't even think of nothing that I need out of Target.
Everybody on Amazon.
I mean, Amazon right here.
Target might not make it out of here.
Amazon be with me wherever I go. I don't have to go to Target. It's right here. It's with me.
The Northern Lights may move further south into the mainland and U.S. this week. The Northern Lights may be visible in the mainland U.S. this week due to a strong geomagnetic storm, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. So this happened last night, right?
The night before.
The night before. So if you was outside,
you may have saw it.
I don't know if you can see it or not. But the thing that's crazy is this happened before, and this is a warning by the space weather. NASA warns a machine gun solar system set to batter Earth for days. It says the Earth is set to be pummeled by a swarm of solar storm events beginning tomorrow. This was August 17th, so this will be the 18th, according to NASA predictions. Huh?
The 18th was on Thursday.
Yeah, NASA experts have warned that a cluster of solar systems will reach the Earth beginning tomorrow, August 18th. A solar storm occurs, then the sun ejects powerful bursts of energy in the form of solar flares and coronal mass ejections, consisting of a storm of electrical charges and magnetic fields. The storms can barrel toward the Earth at speeds at about 3 million miles per hour. So they warn people of this. I guess they're able to get out of it scot-free. When I got this article, this is when it first happened. But there was a situation, the Carrington event, where it happened and it actually shut down the entire telegraph system. The way people communicated in the 1800s, it shut the whole thing down because of one of these events happened. So the telegram system was done. They had to rebuild it across the whole country.
Yeah.
So they kind of dodged the bullet. They ain't do much this time. Experts warn California of a disaster larger than any in the world world history. It's not an earthquake.
It's a flood.
A new study says that the Earth warms, a massive California flood gets more likely. One that would swamp Los Angeles, displace millions, and cause historic damage.
Now, isn't that crazy? Doesn't the Most High have a great sense of humor? They are literally in a drought.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to give you an earthquake. I'm going to give you a flood. Like, that's crazy.
I'm going to flood you out of the area.
Blue gold.
where this is in Europe, where water is called blue gold. A town grapples with one of the worst droughts on record. There's a huge drought going on across the planet.
Not because when America, they just think of Colorado, California, Arizona.
Yeah. But Africa, Europe, a lot of places are dealing with a drought right now.
Even in some states.
Exactly.
Like you can click on the map. It even shows you like just about in every state, the middle of the state is in an unusual drought.
Yeah. A town grapples with one of the worst droughts on record. This is in Europe. It says France. For well over a century, water has goes through the web of gutters and channels of a farm, following the underground reservoir in earthen troughs and Norse crops sown across terraced fields. In 2020, the stream began to falter. In 2020,
how did it go from that in 2 years?
It began to falter. This year, it stopped altogether. Her stone cistern echoes with thirst. On the small farm in the upper reaches of whatever a commune of Var region in southern France, the fields are bare, but for the parched remnants of the last harvest. Normally, tomatoes, peppers, and melons thrive here. Now the fields lie fallow. There's another one here. This is a Colorado River crisis grows. Some officials say it's time to feds to make a move on water cuts.
And they did, I believe.
Let me show the video right quick. Hold on. I want to show this little, it's in particular.
Right, Trump, Black Power. Black Power.
That's not it. They're going to go to the one right here. Hold on. All right. Now look at this right here. This is really seems like it's the start of something, really. Look at this. 7 U.S. states that share Colorado River water are poised to miss federal deadline. They have a deadline to make cuts to water consumption, but they haven't done it yet. Now that the government is coming in to do it for them. Look at this.
Look at the top of that.
This is what the water used to be. Wait till it gets to the other part. Hold on. For drastic consumption cuts amid. Look at this.
That's how high the water used to be.
This is what the water used to be. This is where it's at now.
So all the little things out there, the little island thing, but with the dirt.
Yeah, all that's covered up.
That was covered up before. You couldn't even see it. That's crazy.
That's crazy.
That's called a plague. That's what that's called.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. All right, let me go ahead and show this. U.S. issues Western water cuts as drought leaves Colorado River near tipping point.
Near tipping point.
It's already done.
It's done.
Arizona, Nevada, and Mexico affected as federal government steps in after states failed to reach agreement. Laredo confronts drought and water shortage without a wealth of options. Leaders in the South Texas city are reluctant to impose substantial restrictions on watering lawns, even as water supplies near record lows.
So even in Texas, they're dealing with the water drought. We told y'all about, this was a couple episodes ago too. It was Professor Griff. I had seen him do an episode on water wars. And he said America going to eventually be going and stealing people water out of their countries.
That happened in Oregon, where some of the towns had to make a decision whether or not we're going to send this water to the farms, to the people, or to these life preserving ponds for fish. And people was like, man, F them fish. We need that water for the farmers and the people because we need food and we need the people obviously got to live. So they were fighting over that. Now this is the map they showed as of August 18th. This is all the droughts and the
Texas is definitely.
As you can see, Texas is pretty bad.
Yeah,
Cali,
Texas bad.
Arizona, Colorado,
Washington
New Mexico.
State is fine.
Washington pretty good. You see North Carolina over here,
South Carolina,
Georgia, Florida.
Now Kentucky is fine. West Virginia is fine. I think is that Delaware?
Let me make sure I'm not crazy. Yeah, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and Connecticut are dealing with some heavy droughts.
That's where white people are.
So
Rhode Island.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is what we're dealing with. And don't forget, last year there was heavy rains that destroyed a lot of farmland. So that's why you got a lot of food shortages that's supposed to happen.
And now this year is
dry.
So sound like somebody playing games.
So he flooded you in the Midwest. Now he giving you a drought out west, south, and even some in the east.
So plagues.
All right, Nancy Pelosi's son, who secretly joined Mom on her controversial trip to Taiwan, is a top investor in a Chinese telecoms company, despite House Speaker's campaign to tackle China's corporate influence in the U.S.
Everybody in her family got some sort of investment or ties to something.
Well, we know for a fact she's been feeding her family tips in the stock market because they profiles is amazing. They just make crazy profits.
They're just lucky. They're
lucky.
They're business invested.
They're
People.
very good. They're very good.
They're very good with business.
Yeah, okay.
And they said, we're very good with business, so you should probably mind yours.
Nancy Pelosi's son, Paul Pelosi Jr., 53, is the second largest investor in a $22 million Chinese company. Paul secretly accompanied his mother on the controversial trip to Taiwan last week, as seen in the photos alongside Taiwan President Xi Jinping and other top Taiwanese officials. Keep in mind, Taiwan is very important because that's where the world really gets their microchips from. America in particular, I think, gets 65% of their microchips from Taiwan.
But they are trying to build a place here in Arizona.
No, they said they're going to put a headquarters in Arizona, but even that, majority of it's still going to be made outside of America, the chips.
They can't do that.
So
America need to rethink that.
Now, China only has 10% of their microchips through Taiwan. You know, Taiwan and America have been going back and forth. America and China have been going back and forth on the Taiwan situation. So is China prepared to take away Taiwan, risk, the microchip shortage thing becoming pretty bad in order to see America suffer in a possible war? Because if you lose those microchips, you're talking TVs,
absolutely,
cars,
yes,
electronics, laptops, all type of, it's very important to society.
Not just America, everywhere.
I'm saying society, America, world society.
But the target is America. And to make America fall, that means other people may have to suffer. It's the truth.
Maybe so. It says, as well as investing, Paul Pelosi Jr. also worked in the telecoms company Borks Technology in a board of consultancy role, Securities and Exchange Commission documents show. It says right here, he was awarded 700,000 shares for his services, making him the fifth largest shareholder in the company. After other insiders sold stock in June 2021, he became the second largest. More stock than one of his two co-founders, and topped only by CEO Pat Seek-Yoon Chang.
They sold their stock, or were they told to give up their stock?
Yeah. A later SEC filing from May 2022 listed the top 10 shareholders, which did not include Paul Pelosi Jr., suggesting he has slipped down the rankings of top shareholders since last year. I'm going to go to another one. Pelosi Jr. name not listed in the official delegation sent out by the Speaker's office.
She said adult children and spouses are not. They don't have to be mentioned.
Yeah, During the 19th hour, I want to go to one in particular. Borks, the Chinese telephone company, 2020 next will announce her backing of a bipartisan bill to bar some Chinese companies from listing on U.S. stock exchanges, and has been building a coalition in the House for a sprawling anti-China bill that originated in the Senate. I'm trying to find one in particular. Oh, here you go. The 400,000 shares Pelosi Jr. owned at the time were worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Through the stock price has fallen precipitously since. A March 22 letter submitted to the SEC suggested Pelosi Jr. is still a shareholder. It's unclear what Pelosi Jr.'s role of the company was. A spokeswoman for the Speaker, the House, and adult children have never included in press releases about lawmakers' delegation abroad. He said Pelosi Jr. traveled with no expense to the taxpayers, that Pelosi did not conduct any business on the trip, and that per decades-old policy, spouses and adult children are not allowed to travel on congressional delegations for representational purposes. Another major shareholder in the company was Paul Orchard, a former Republican California state assemblyman who was called in 1955 after voting for retained Democrat Willie Brown as a speaker.
Willie Brown.
That's what I will get to. Retained Democrat Willie Brown as speaker, nixing the Republican one-seat majority.
Did Kamala show up?
I don't think that's the same one, but I want to get to that name. Okay, here we go. Here's the one I'm looking for. The Republican former legislator was previously named a recipient of a $4,000 donation by the Thai-American Little Rock, Arkansas restaurateur and friend of Bill Clinton, Yang Lin Tree, whose donations have been returned because of suspicions they originated from foreign donors. Remember when Bill Clinton was selling shit to the Chinese?
Yep.
And they got it overlooked because they brought up the Lewinsky scandal. See what I mean? With the Clintons are good at giving you something to hide something bigger. So they gave you the Lewinsky to hide the China thing. I'm gonna show you this right here. This is an older article. This is from 1999. China approves technology transfer. Clinton approves technology transfer to China. This is 99. Clinton defends actions in alleged Chinese espionage. He was spying for. They're trying to say he was spying for China.
Still going on to this day.
And that just kind of get ignored, and people just forget that happened with Clinton. It's just Lewinsky. That's all people want to talk about. But yeah.
He even got called the black president after that incident.
Niggas is sad for that. I'm older. I'm embarrassed by this shit.
He's the first black president.
Election deniers march toward power in key 2024 battlegrounds.
Now look at they calling them. They calling them election deniers. So that's already propaganda.
You're an anti-vaxxer. You're an election denier. You're now Trump supporters. You're a Russian stooge or whatever. They give you a name for every decision. So if you think Ukraine shit is stupid, you support Russia.
Or you're an apologist.
Russian apologist. That's the word. If you go against the Democrats, you're a Trump supporter.
Yeah, you're not just a conservative or Republican anymore.
You're not just an independent who just look at both sides of bullshit.
No, you're a Trumper.
You a Trumper.
Yeah.
But the problem is a lot of the people that are quote unquote anti-Trump, election deniers are winning races in very important states: Georgia, Pennsylvania, Arizona. I think with North Carolina too. But no, because Biden won. Yeah, Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Nevada, and Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. All the Republican candidates that agree with Trump about the election are winning. I think they said out of the half the people that have won their primaries, Republican primaries, are quote unquote election deniers. So first thing I said is, don't that mean people are voting for them?
Exactly. So are the
public election deniers?
You already done set it up. That's the next thing for the public.
Exactly.
It's not just for the politicians. It's for you out there who believe that as well.
Exactly. See, Trump allied lawyers pursued voting machine data in multiple states. Records revealed.
She was one of the first ones to come out and say that.
Yeah.
But never really produced anything.
Well, they said that the court wouldn't hear them.
Okay.
And they couldn't put it out in public because that was considered as evidence.
I can see they chose a picture with her leopard.
Yeah, that too. I want to show one thing. Now this is the woman who, like you said, defended Trump. The email, the breaches, Okay. Now the Republicans in Michigan in particular right now are trying to get the voting machine data so they can see what's going on.
Oh no.
So this is what they're saying now. The federal government classifies voting system as critical infrastructure, important to national security, and access to the software and other components is tightly regulated. In several instances since 2020, officials have taken machines out of service after their chains of custody were disrupted. So if the voting machines are considered critical infrastructure and a threat to important to national security, that means anybody who's trying to get data out of them is espionage. They're spying. That means if you believe that's spying, that's what's it called when you go against your country?
Treason.
That's treason. That means you can be hanged.
Ain't that what they calling for?
Let's see. Now we're gonna get to that when they accuse Trump of. Let me show this right here. Now this right here is in Florida. This is Ron DeSantis. He had a little situation that happened where a group of people he had arrested and charged for
Didn't
illegal
Yvette
voting.
Carnell tweet out something about that?
But look who it affected.
And are now facing charges of voter fraud. 20 people are accused of voting illegally in the 2020 election. 8 are from South Florida. Those arrested were convicted of murder or sexual assault, crimes which were excluded under Amendment 4, the restoration of civil rights that was approved by voters in 2018.
They did not go through any process. They did not get their rights restored, and yet they went ahead and voted anyways.
This is all thanks to a 2-month investigation by the newly minted state agency that was created to investigate election crimes.
Okay. Did they go through the proper things of getting their votes restored to them?
Apparently not.
So then where he wrong at?
DeSantis announced 20 charges of voter fraud by new election security office.
So she put out that tweet because she's saying that it's going to affect black people the most?
I don't know.
I mean, did she look at the story and see that these...
I'm sure she did.
So why... I mean, if I saw this and it said the 20 people charged voter fraud, all these crimes are being accused of, and they did not get their voter rights restored, then they ain't wrong. There's something to talk about.
Do you think it's right for somebody to commit a crime and be not allowed to vote?
But don't you have to go through a process of getting...
I ask you a question.
It depends on the crime.
I'm asking you.
It depends on the crime.
It's a yes or no. Do you believe somebody, if they commit a crime, should they be able to lose their right to vote?
Depends on the crime.
You shouldn't answer the question.
That's answering the question.
What crime?
Pedophile.
Okay.
Mass murder.
What do you mean mass murder? What does that mean?
You killed a whole bunch of people.
You mean at once?
Or a serial killer.
A serial killer? Should they be not...
Sometimes they get out. Sometimes they get out.
So those are people that shouldn't be allowed to vote.
Rapists.
Okay.
Yeah. If it's somebody that went to prison for marijuana, cocaine, crack.
More than likely, that's what they went into jail for, though.
No, you see that.
Travis, she said murder and rape. Come on, we know why she said that.
That's what I'm about to say. She was trying to paint a bad image of these men because they were black.
They probably were. Some of them might have did that, but most of them probably did for drugs.
But you see what I'm saying? It's different levels.
Okay.
But so, what is your opinion on it?
I agree.
Oh, he gets out of it.
Why I get out of it? Pentagon.
I agree.
Pentagon announces extra $775 million in weapons to Ukraine. This is getting out of here. This is crazy. It's been 2 weeks, ain't it?
If we ain't gonna do nothing about it, let's stop talking about it.
The United States will send another $775 million in missiles, drones, vehicles, and mine-clearing equipment to Ukraine to help with its war with Russia as the conflict enters a near standstill, the Pentagon announced Friday. Didn't they just possibly shoot Crimea?
Possibly.
Shoot bombs into Crimea, possibly? They took credit for it.
They won't smoke. They really want a war to pop off.
This is crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy because, like, we right here. We on the northwest coast.
Speaking of the northwest coast, Russian surveillance aircraft enters Alaskan air defense identification zone 3 times over the past 3 days.
This shit is getting real.
So Russia is sending surveillance aircraft to Alaska.
Yeah.
That's how they're gonna invade, I guess, through Alaska.
Well, that's how the Mongoloids, the quote unquote Native Americans, invaded. They came through Russia.
That's Russia came from, ain't it?
Yeah, that's why I wonder why the Chinese get along so well with the Russian. I wonder why.
China to send troops to Russia for joint military exercise. Beijing participation in joint exercise was unrelated to the current international and regional situation, the country defense ministry said in a statement. Didn't North Korea say they're going to send 100,000 soldiers to Russia?
That's their people. That's why the Europeans don't. That's why they don't like Russia, because they know they are what? They're Asian, Eurasian.
Eurasian, yeah.
They're Eurasian. They not, look at Putin.
Palestinian general discusses military cooperation at talks with Moscow.
Let's take a look at Putin real quick. Putin got small eyes. Those people are Eurasians. That's why the Asians don't mind helping their people.
The talks, which took place on Tuesday, came as Moscow seeks allies around the world to counter what President Vladimir Putin describes as Western hegemony and neo-colonialism. Now, if Russia is talking to Palestine, that means they look at Palestine as their full government. right?
Yeah.
Now, Russia has been accusing America of trying to make Iran and Israel fight in Syria. Well, who has a base in Syria? The Russians. Is it possible that Putin, in the next coming years, possibly discontinue, will put boots on the ground in the Gaza Strip to defend the Palestinians against Israel?
That's if they still got that script.
I know that would be a big deal to the Christian Zionists in America, because they always say Russia, according to prophecy, is going to attack Israel. But that would be a big deal, because America will be forced to do something. Would Russia help Iran with nuclear weapons?
Yes.
Getting scary. And this is a video that Honorable Sienna sent me. When you see this, Honorable, this is the video you sent me. I don't know if you got the same thing out of it I got out of it, but I would assume you did.
This is.
Let me show this video here.
It's 9 minutes?
No, I'm not showing the whole thing.
This is supposed to be one of the holiest sites in the world, in one of the holiest cities in the world. But this cell phone footage shot inside the Al-Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem shows a scene that's anything but tranquil. Trapped inside, Palestinian worshippers are tear-gassed by Israeli forces. You can see the stained glass windows of the prayer hall being smashed by the police, who then aim their guns through the openings. Eventually, they enter the hall. They often succeed in clearing the compound to let these Jewish Israelis in. On the surface, this might seem like just a religious rivalry, but there's a lot more to this story. It's about control, not just of the holy sites, but of the land and the people who live on it. So we're going to look at who these people are, what their goals are, and how a 1994 massacre of Palestinians at another holy site by an Israeli-American settler might shed light on where Jerusalem is headed today. Jerusalem is at the heart of three religions: Islam, Judaism, Christianity. But since occupying East Jerusalem in 1967, Israel has aimed to ensure the city has a Jewish majority.
You are stealing my house.
And if I don't steal it, someone else is going to steal it.
No!
To Palestinians who have been living under occupation and denied a site, it's a symbol of their nationhood. Jews call Al-Aqsa the Temple Mount because it's believed to be the site where two ancient Jewish temples once stood. The second temple was destroyed by the Romans roughly 2,000 years ago, but until then it had been the center of Jewish worship, the holiest place for Jews.
So Israelis are trying to get this mosque because they say that's where the third temple was supposed to be. I'm sorry, where the two temples were. That means they want to build a third temple there.
And what happens when the third temple is built?
When that third temple gets built,
over.
Shit pop off. That's when it's over. Remember, Trump was pushing hard to build that third temple. He was pushing hard. He gave Israel a chunk of land, even renamed the capital of the country to Jerusalem. Like, Trump was we're going to get to Trump and why he was so pro-Israel. But, let me, okay. All right, we can go through this. Anything up there? Oh, Tony. Oh, sorry. These are devils are cutting water, ways a river off to make these droughts. They want to play God. And they're also changing the weather, too. They control the weather system. People don't understand it's not just Hunter. A lot of the politician kids are messed up allegedly. Yeah. They only want to point out one, though. And shit, nobody talking about Obama kids either. Bruce Reinhart, Florida judge who approved FBI raid on Trump home, faces storm of death threats. He also was a Obama donor, and he was associated with Jeffrey Epstein. But he's not a judge; he's a magistrate judge. But that's a difference. But look, so a magistrate judge is lower than a judge. So they didn't go to a judge to get this warrant signed. They went to a lesser judge to get it signed. Now, he recused himself from the I think it's just the Maxwell thing. But he more than stayed with the Trump situation. All right, let me show y'all this. This is going to get hot quick. Judge who signed off on FBI raid made anti-Trump post. Okay, we know he was an anti-Trump person. And I'm going somewhere with this. FBI locates 121 missing kids, child trafficking victims in a nationwide operation. Oh, wow.
Right after the big Trump bust.
So they bust Trump. Well, not bust him. They raid Trump. They bust like they found.
Hey, when you're from an environment, you call it a bust.
They raid Trump. And then not too long after that, they announced that, we found we located 121 missing kids.
Oh, all in the back of the.
Now, we know that FBI has been accused of some very heinous things when it comes to the trafficking situation, but let's move on. Keep in mind, I said that judge was associated with Epstein, who signed it for the FBI. Now the FBI found some kids. Armed man who tried to breach FBI Ohio office killed after 6-hour standoff with police.
Hey, he held his own.
Did he really hold his own if he died?
He held his own to be one man against the damn FBI.
Justice Department asked judge to keep Trump's search warrant affidavit sealed, citing investigation.
Oh.
Prosecutor said affidavit contains highly sensitive information about witnesses, including witness interviewed by the government and other information required by law to be kept under seal.
Well, that's why you would release not that sensitive part. You release the other part.
You redacted, yeah. Remember when Merrick Garland was saying, release the warrant, Trump, do it. And they called him out, he's pulling his car, he's calling his bluff. And then Trump said, okay. And he released it. Now Trump is saying, release the affidavit. And they're saying, we can't release that. Unfortunately for them, though, possibly unfortunately, because this is all theater and the play.
Judge.
This is a big play for everybody. U.S. judge said he leans toward releasing some evidence.
Which would not include the names and sensitive information regarding the witnesses.
It'll probably be the stuff that make the FBI look the best.
Probably so.
They'll hide the other stuff that Trump really wanted to get released, possibly. All right.
Or maybe he'll blow this thing up.
Trump passports taking the FBI search of Mar-a-Lago returned to former president. Look, I don't care about Trump, none of these people, but it does seem strange. This is the first time in history that a president had the FBI come to his house
raided
with machine guns,
AR-15s,
with automatic rifles, and took his passports because they said he was a flight risk. They thought he was a flight risk.
And guess who tweeted it out? Click over to the next one.
So this right here, Nora
O'Donnell, Charlie Rose.
According to the DOJ official, the FBI is not in possession of former President Trump's passports. Trump had accused the FBI of stealing his 3 passports during the search of his Mar-a-Lago home.
She never retracted it.
She got 40,000 likes.
But I think CBS says that we are not affiliated with Nora O'Donnell doing her Twitter's accounts. That's not CBS. That's her on her personal time.
So she can spread
misinformation,
disinformation on her Twitter account,
but not on CBS.
It's not a reflection of the news network. All right.
Wow. Yep, that's what they said.
All right. Now this one here. All right. This is where it get crazy. Ex-CIA chief Michael Hayden implies Trump should be executed for taking classified docs. Sounds about right, he said. Now this is what this is the original message that was put out. Hold on. Somebody tweeted out a picture of hold on. This thing gonna load.
Liz Cheney.
Hold on, let me let me get this tweet. All right, I got a tweet now. Now you see this tweet here? It says Rosenbergs were convicted of giving U.S. nuclear secrets to Moscow and were executed June 1953. Now keep in mind, the FBI warrant said that Trump had classified information, possible nuclear codes, or nuclear information, should I say. So they said Trump was a threat to national security with information that he had.
Mm-hmm.
So this person tweeted out, the last people who was convicted of giving up nuclear secrets to Moscow, Russia, they were executed.
Shouldn't Shouldn't Bill Clinton have been?
What's that thing he got out of it? He's a Clinton. Okay, now these two people, the Rosenbergs, they were executed, as he said, but the person who was in charge of that operation or that investigation was McCarthy. I'm pretty sure you know about McCarthy, the Red Scare, the communist push that everybody was been accused of being a communist throughout Hollywood and all that stuff. A lot of them were.
All were. Still are.
So, I said a lot of them dead or went to prison and stuff. Now, the person who actually got them convicted and murdered, convicted and executed, was Roy Cohn. Now, this is why this is crazy how this all connected. Roy Cohn, the man who got the Rosenbergs executed for giving away nuclear secrets, something that Trump has been accused of, was Trump's mentor. He was his mentor. Let me show you. This is Roy Cohn. I'm going to show you an image of him. This right here is Roy Cohn. This is Trump's mentor. It wasn't just a mentor. It was like, he literally, everything about Trump came from him. The way he talked, how he do business, everything. He got from this dude right here, Roy Cohn, right? All right, let me go through a description of him. I know he was Roy Marcus Cohen was an American lawyer and prosecutor who came to prominence for his role as Senator Joseph McCarthy chief counselor during the Army McCarthy hearings in 1954 when he assisted McCarthy's investigation of suspected communists. He also is the person who got John Gotti off. The one who walked into a restaurant and shot somebody in the head. He the one who got him off.
And walked out of the courtroom.
He also got one of the other associates, Fat Tony. So he's connected to the mafia, the mob, right? His father is Albert C. Cohen. His father was on the New York State Supreme Court. He's a New York State Supreme Court justice. And father of Ron Cohen, he was an influential in the Democratic Party policy. Oh, a Democrat.
Once again, Democratic Party.
But that's not it. His father also was the president of the International B'nai B'rith organization. Now, B'nai B'rith is considered is a Jewish service organization. B'nai B'rith states it is committed to the security and continuity of the Jewish people and the state of Israel in combating anti-Semitism and other forms of bigotry. It was a Mason lodge. They said it was this to protect Jews. It's a Masonry lodge, right?
Yep.
So, one of his first lawyers, Roy Cohn, his father was a Mason.
And they Jewish?
Pretty sure they were Jewish. Pretty sure they were Zionists, which we know Trump is very Zionist. Now look at this right here. Roy Cohn taught Donald what Roy Cohn taught
now
Donald
you see they got
Trump.
a picture of him with his hand on his temple.
Yeah, you see? It said, you can't understand. I'm sorry, hold on, let me. Come on, thing. All right, you can't understand. This is the Daily Caller in 2016. I'm sorry. He said, you can't understand Donald Trump without understanding the influence of his political mentor, Roy Cohn. Cohn came into prominence, we already said all that stuff. Roy was brutal, but he was a very loyal guy, Trump explained. He brutalized for you. According to Trump, his first met Cohen in 1973. Keep that date. An exclusive New York nightclub, Le Club, Cohen convinced a 27-year-old Trump to fight back against a government suit targeting his family's real estate holdings for being racially discriminatory.
Oh, that's when he had that apartment thing?
His father had a racial apartment. He had an apartment where apparently was letting black people move in there. That began a 13-year connection between Trump and Cohen, who died of AIDS in 1986. Those who knew Cohen and know Trump see the unmistakable influence the lawyer had on the Donald. Lone Trump political advisor Roger Stone, who was introduced to Trump by Cohen in 1979, says Cohen taught Trump an enormous amount. First of all, Roy was a master of understanding the news cycle and particularly understanding the tabloids. Gossip. The Jamie Weinstein Show podcast, Roy would literally call up and dictate pieces of Page 6 because New York Post owner Rupert Murdoch was a client and because Roy always had good material. So Roy understood the tabloids. Donald, I think, learned the tabloids media and media cycle from Roy. So it goes on to say where he got all this stuff from. There's a dozen Trumpisms that are adopted from Roy. So the things we consider Trumpisms are actually Coinisms. For example, you'd ask him a question, instead of saying yes, he would say 100%. That's Roy. Forget about it.
Forget
That's
about
Roy.
it.
A lot of people say that's Roy. Those are all Royisms. Believe me, I tell you this. Stone continued, pointing to phrases Trump took from Cohen. I think the speech patterns are even similar. Now he goes on to talk about Alan Dershowitz. Dershowitz went on to outline some of the other lessons he thinks Cohen taught Trump. Never apologize, never back down, never admit you were wrong, or use every means possible towards achieving your goals, he said. I'm not sure that distinguishes him from all the other politicians, but as a matter of degree, I can see the influence of Roy Cohen on Donald Trump, and I understand why they were so close. So they had all these connections, right? Now I'm about to show you. I don't know if you saw this yet, but you can go watch. You might already saw it. Roy Cohen has there's a documentary or expose, whatever you want to call it, on Roy Cohen, and it revealed a lot of stuff in it. Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on, let me go through this. So y'all live near Fort Bragg and the $5 Indians. Y'all's conspiracies, MK influences coming into view. Plus, you pick cotton. Oh snap! On set, I get interrupted a lot during the live. I get behind and miss coming. So rewatch it later. Yeah, okay. Are you guys fans of X-Files? If so, do you watch the YouTube channel called Dark Journalist that literally links TXF history to current events? I haven't watched X-Files. I know X-Files is very popular in Washington State.
I know that's the number one thing they look up is X-Files. That was 2 years ago?
Yeah, I've never been that much into X-Files though.
I remember them watching it as a child.
Trump people was a brother.
Trump people.
Are you guys familiar with the Baron Trump novels by Ingersoll Lockwood, 1889, 1893? No, I haven't heard of that.
But definitely we'll look into it.
Definitely look it up. Familiar with Baron Trump novels. All right. Wait, Baron Trump, isn't that, that's one of Trump's son's name. So I guess it's named after one of his ancestors or uncle's father or something?
Maybe so.
Okay. Yeah, definitely look that up. Well, I'm about to show y'all a trailer.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Last question today. What makes Roy Cohen tick?
Dora Cohen wanted a different son from the son that God gave her. And that imbued him a sense of shame about who he was. His father gave him the language through law and politics to express his shame.
And keep in mind, Donald Trump's attorney general, his father, somehow Epstein is connected to that as well. I think his name is Anthony Barr. Donald Trump's attorney general, his father was a dean at a prestigious college in New York who allegedly hired Epstein to do, what do they call it, mystical math? Spiritual math, I'm sorry. So Donald Trump's attorney general's father hired Epstein to teach spiritual math.
They do spiritual math and spiritual cooking.
Exactly. That's Hillary Clinton in the emails.
Roy Cohen's contempt for people, his contempt for the law, was so evident on his face that you knew you were in the presence of evil.
He was like a caged
Shot a guy in the head. Homosexuals very aggressively. But he was the one who threw the good parties.
And there were rumors he was picking up male prostitutes.
He could pull strings and bring people together. He could pull strings and make people do things.
It's alleged that in his time, Ronald Reagan's wife used to call him weekly. And the head of the FBI used to call him daily. Roy Cohen. So the head of the FBI and Ronald Reagan's wife would call this man weekly and daily. For what? Get advice on what?
How to run a country.
So that means Roy Cohn had a direct line to Ronald Reagan.
Ronald Reagan, the one that ushered in the
crack cocaine
epidemic.
Yeah.
So was that Roy Cohn's idea to do that?
I don't know. He was a mafia guy, and all of them was mafia guys, including the Kennedys as well. They had mafia ties. Their father, I think, was a what do they call it? Alcohol moonshiner.
Oh, okay.
His father had ties to moonshining.
I was in his office when Nancy Reagan called and thanked him for getting her husband elected.
Cohn looked at Donald Trump as a protege. Donald had the money, and Roy had the balls and the shrewdness. Attack. Don't say.
Okay, so I want to go back to one thing. You see this right here? Roy Cohn spotted at Studio 54. This is a newspaper.
Was the one.
This picture. Somehow, this didn't become a bigger story last year. But look at this right here. So this is the official article here. I'm sorry. I want to show it here because I wanted to zoom in. So that was that. Now look at this. Where's My Roy Cohn? That's the name of the documentary. Digs into one of the 20th century's most evil men. So this was the picture that Vanity Fair chose to be the highlight for the article. Keep that in mind. Hold on, let me go to the article now. All right. Now look at this. It premiered. This is last year. This is January 25th of last year. Look at this. Now look what this little blurb down here says. Roy Cohn and Donald Trump and a steal from Where's My Roy Cohn.
It looked like he got his cheeks done and got some lipstick on, and
so what they're saying,
he got eyeliner and all that shit on, and
so we know that Roy Cohn was a guy who was a homosexual but used to throw homosexual party, but he was prosecuting them. Was Donald Trump one of his boy toys?
I think Donald Trump may have been one of his boy toys, allegedly.
He has him dressed like the Roman male, and we know about the Roman military, what was the stereotype about them now, because they never taught you this in school. The Roman military, the Greek military, what they were known for. Especially the Greeks, they were real bad. The term mentor in the Greek, that meant
boy lover.
A boy lover. That means a man who took on a little boy and used him as his, a relationship with a young boy. He was his mentor to teach him some skill. And what is Roy Cohn given credit for? Being Trump's political mentor. Teach him how to run. Now, keep in mind, it says political mentor. But Trump wasn't in politics until 2016 or 2015.
Well, maybe this is all planned and staged. These people's life is pretty much laid out in front of them, what is going to happen and what's going to be done. So
I'm surprised that the Vanity Fair put this photo up. Donald Trump didn't sue. So that means
it's true.
And
nobody, how you going to sue? That's him.
But nobody made this. How is this not a bigger story that Donald Trump might have been a boy toy for Roy Cohn?
Because Donald Trump going to say he wasn't no damn boy toy.
But then he could sue.
Well, they didn't insinuate that he was a boy toy. They just told us.
No, the man, look, they ain't got to say nothing. The dude wearing makeup in a Roman guard. Come on. I want to show this right here. This is the article from 1978. Roy Cohn at 51 enjoys prosperity and controversy. Now, they went through this article and it talks about all the stuff he's been accused of. Roy Cohn turned 51 years old today, an infant. Terrible of the McCarthy era, is very much the center of controversy as he has always been. His name really invokes neutral response. As one of the country's half-dozen best-known lawyers, he loves the limelight. He doesn't appear to mind much if he is called kind, charming, manipulative, or malevolent. Just as long as someone is paying attention.
That's a damn psychopath.
Yeah, the man who helped polarize the country's view on communism 25 years ago is now prospering by representing glamorous jet-setting real estate investors and defendants reputed as to have ties with organized crime. Mr. Cohn also enjoys a special unofficial status, virtual immunity for criminal prosecution. When he was a United States attorney in Manhattan in the 1960s, R.M., now the Manhattan District Attorney, tenaciously pursued Mr. Cohen. 3 times Mr. Cohen was indicted on such charges as obstructing justice, bribery, extortion, and blackmail in connection with his activities as a corporate wheel dealer, APD boxing promoter. So he was a boxing promoter. So I wonder if he has any ties to Tyson, Ali.
Why are you bringing up the black boxers?
But Ali, what's the other guy's name? Sonny Liston. Sonny Liston had ties with the mafia. 3 times Mr. Cohen was acquitted. The pragmatics of the unwritten rules of prosecution dictate that anyone who has been acquitted by 3 juries is an unlikely future target of prosecution. Keep in mind, Roy Cohen is also the one who's known for saying, "I don't care what the law is, tell me who the judge is." That's what he's known for saying. I don't care what the law is, tell me what the judge is so I can give him this money and we can get this thing thrown away. Which is kind of seen what Alan Dershowitz is known for as well. That's allegations, that's allegedly. Jared Kushner, most likely Mar-a-Lago mole behind FBI raid, Mary Trump said. I think that's Trump's niece. Trump's niece said the person who voted on Trump
is what's her name?
Was Ivanka Trump, his daughter's husband.
What's her Israel name?
Her name is Yael Kushner.
Yael Kushner.
And Yael in the Bible, if you know, Yael is the character who, when the man came to the tent during the war, he asked for water. She gave him milk, and then when he went to sleep, she put a nail in his head. That was what was that? Not Diana.
Deborah.
The Deborah demon.
Why you gotta say that, dude?
Hey, Trump family is linked to Tesla. All of this is game. Exactly. He said, "Let me stop." That Donald Trump influence is kind of thing that inflected the X-Files and all these dot connections. The Operation Paperclip gift that just keeps on paying. How that for conspiracies? Yeah. He had been talking about running for years as a Democrat. Well, that's why the Simpsons. Remember they had an episode of him running for president and winning. So when people look at it, they predicted it. He wasn't in politics. He talked about it, but he wasn't in it. But everybody around him seemed to know he was going to do it. As a matter of fact, somebody associated with him said that if Donald, this was 2006. In 2006, somebody said if Roy Cohen was still alive, he would get front row seats to Trump's inauguration. Trump didn't run for president for another 10 years. Because they were talking about how close Trump was with Roy Cohen. And he said, yeah, if he was still alive, he would get front row seats to his inauguration. It's like,
that's his mentor. Later, he literally groomed him and prepped him his life.
But they already knew he was going to run and win.
Yeah.
Shit crazy.
Which tells you we don't have elections.
We have selections.
Exactly.
Anyway, man, we kept you long enough. This is a little bit shorter than the last one. Hope y'all enjoy it.
We are officially a 4-hour show.
You got any last words?
No, thanks for everybody for coming in, spending this Saturday with us. Because that's practically what they're doing now. They're spending a Saturday with us.
Spending the whole Saturday with this point. You sit down with us, you got to give your whole day away. Definitely appreciate it. Love and support. Please subscribe, share, like, comment. Y'all be safe. All praise to the Most High. And peace, man.
Thank you.